It is time to get back to football. We are back to Oakland. Welcome inside the O.co Coliseum. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the broadcast booth on our radio and TV simulcast. Coach and Hugh Jackson last year was the Raider offensive coordinator. A team that averaged just slightly over 12 points a game, Tom. They exploded last year, scoring 25.5 points a game. They had the same great ground attack. They ranked second in the NFL in rushing a year ago with a franchise record of 4.9 yards per rush. It'll be intriguing what he is able to do, not just with the offense, but the entire football team that last year went 8-8.
Well, we certainly are hoping that his energy carries over to everything on the field and off the field and into the stands everywhere, because he is a high-energy guy. What a great progress they made last year offensively when you realize that they doubled the output from the year before, and that's quite an improvement.
He was a quarterback in his playing days. What school did he go to, Tom? I forgot that school.
The School of Head Coaches.
Tom Flores University. Pacific University in the mid-'80s, where he threw for over 2,500 yards. We are going to get the flip of the coin downstairs. Ron Winter is our referee tonight. Jason Campbell anxious to get at it. Jim, one of the Raider captains this year. He had a very solid first year as the Raider quarterback last year. Raiders went 8-8 overall, 6-0 in the AFC West. They had never done that before, winning all 6 within the division. But I think Jason has even more of a handle on this football team now that he's been around for a second year, Jim.
Well, I certainly think he does also. I went to training camp the other day and watched him practice a little bit, although he's held out of a lot of the drills. But everybody I've talked to, including Coach Jackson, they're really high on Campbell, the way he's performed, the enthusiasm, the confidence he's gotten as a carryover from last year. He's making all the right decisions at practice. And, I think it is going to carry over. Plus, he's got such an explosive offense to work with. The receivers were dynamite last year, and a little bit later on I'll get into just how many big plays they came up with a year ago. It was fantastic. It was phenomenal.
The Arizona Cardinals will get the football first, and I'm interested in seeing Sebastian Janikowski kick off from the 35-yard line. A lot of rule changes in the offseason in the NFL. One of the changes is moving the kickoff line back to the 35, where it was back in the early 90s, Tom. They moved it back to the 30 in 1994. And with Janikowski, he had 29 touchbacks a year ago. He may obliterate the all-time NFL record in the 40s. And kicking from south to north here at the Coliseum, he had 29 touchbacks a year ago. We are in the baseball configuration. The A's will play a game here tomorrow night. But kicking this way, Tom, he is completely on grass. The other way, his plant foot will be on the dirt, so he can blast away.
I don't think there's any question that this one is going to go through the end zone, maybe even through the uprights.
Andre Foster is back to return the kick along with Lerod Stevens-Howling. Remember his name, Raider fans, when the Raiders were in Phoenix last year. He opened the game with a 102-yard kickoff return for a score, but this would have to be 120 yards to the back wall. That's too easy for him.
Didn't it go through the uprights?
It's good from 65.
Don't get any points for that.
That's a new record. And the Arizona Cardinals have a new quarterback, the former Philadelphia Eagle, Kevin Cobb. They traded for him on July 28th, giving up Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, a very good corner, and a second-round pick. 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions last year. In his career, he has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, 11 touchdowns to 14 INTs, but they gave him a new deal, and he is their new quarterback. 1st and 10, Arizona. Moving from north to south, and they're going to run off the left side. And for a very little gain there, as Matt Shaughnessy makes the tackle there on Beanie Wells. Beanie Wells will be their featured running back. Larry Fitzgerald, of course, is their go-to wide receiver. Andre Roberts will try to fill in. They lost Steve Breston in the offseason. He is now a KC Chief, and Todd Heap comes over from Baltimore. Levi Brown, the left tackle. Darren Cottage, the former Green Bay Packer, at left guard. Lyle Sendline at center. Rex Hadnot at right guard, and Brandon Keith at right tackle. No gain for Beanie Wells on 1st down. 2nd and 10, Arizona. Todd Heap goes in motion, but he stays right. Michael Huff, a blitz and a throwaway to nobody. Michael Huff came on a safety blitz that time. He was going to Larry Fitzgerald, but Michael Huff, who had his best year in the NFL last year as a playmaker, came off the edge on the blitz. Raider front four, Lamar Houston had a great rookie season last year with Matt Shaughnessy, a couple of young ends, the veterans in the middle, Seymour and Kelly. Rolando McClain lost some weight, will be quicker this year. The middle backer, Quentin Groves, the weak side backer. Cameron Wembley is the strong side backer. Stanford Robb, Chris Johnson, your corners. Tyvon Branch and the blitzing Michael Huff, your safeties. 3rd down and 10. Raiders are creeping up here. Jerome Boyd looking like he may come on a blitz. He does not. Cobb back, pressured by Cameron Wembley. Cobb's going to run for his life. He can run for a first down, though. And he runs out across the 30. First down, Arizona.
And that time they didn't seem to keep contain on Kevin Cobb. He was able to get outside, outrun Tommy Kelly for the first down.
Cameron Wembley, coach, had a good pass rush, but Cobb was able to move around him and scramble out for 14 yards.
Yeah, it was only a 4-man rush, and they put a little pressure up the field, but there was a gap there, as Jim said. Enough room for him to run for the first down. The coverage down the field was excellent. There was no one there to go to.
1st and 10, Arizona on their own 35-yard line. Cobb is audibleizing at the line. Tyvon Branch sneaks up, showing blitz. It's a quick one out in the left flat, and a short catch made there by early Doucette, and he is wrapped up and dropped immediately by the Raiders defense. They were all over. Michael Huff having a very active game today. Ken Wisenhunt back for his 5th year as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Little quick screen out, Jim. They like to throw these zero routes now, just quick out in the flat for whatever they can get.
You couldn't quite bring him down at first, but slowed him up enough for the rest of the team to come in and put him down.
Yeah, Michael Huff looks, Jim, he looks a little broader. I mean, his arms look bigger, thicker. He just looks like a stronger person out there.
And he's certainly active, and he's a guy who really likes to hit.
Ken Wisenhunt had the Arizona Cardinals champions of the NFC West back-to-back years, but last year with no Kurt Warner, won only 5 games. Cobb rolling to his right, throws, ball deflected up in the air and almost intercepted. I think it hit the ground. Matt Shaughnessy had a chance to take that tip ball, but it did hit the baseball dirt infield, but he almost got one there, the young guy.
I thought he showed a lot of athleticism when he went after that ball up in the air. Almost came up with it, just touched the ground barely.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
It did hit the ground clearly, but what a great effort by Shaughnessy, Tom.
Yeah, certainly Shaughnessy came on strong last year and has earned the right to be a starter this year, and that's going to be, looks like he's pretty comfortable in that position.
Shaughnessy, a round 3 pick back in 09. 3rd down and 10. Cobb out of the shotgun. 4-man pressure. He has time. Steps up. Tommy Kelly will wrap him up. He picked up about 4. It won't be a sack, but the Raider defense will force a punt.
Once again, Greg and Jim, nobody to open down the field. Excellent coverage by the defensive backs and linebackers of the Raiders.
And this time they ran a stunt. Tommy Kelly kept him inside, as he should, and brought him down as Cobb picked up 5 yards.
Ben Graham, the former Aussie Rules player, Aussie Rules Hall of Famer, will punt for the Cardinals. Former New York Jet, and Nick Miller back to return the punt. Graham, a left-footed punter, and Miller will backpedal. He has room to go, though. 14-yard line, 20, gets wide, 25. Good return by Nick Miller. 46-yard punt by Graham, and Nick takes it back 16 yards, so only a net of 30. Raiders will have a good drive start here for their first offensive possession of the 2011 preseason. Tommy Kelly, Richard Seymour, and the boys on defense did their job, and now we'll watch Jason Campbell when we come back to Oakland. 3 minutes into it on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network. 12:04 to go in the opening quarter, and the Raiders go on offense for the first time. They'll start on their 31-yard line with 29-year-old quarterback Jason Campbell. Jim now in his 7th year, a solid season. Last year, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, threw for nearly 2,400 yards.
And I think Campbell's only going to play a series or 2, and then Bowler, and then after that will be Trent Edwards.
Marcel Reese, the fullback, will motion out. They get a pick up Marcel. They do pick him up. He's a matchup nightmare. Lone back is Michael Bush. McFadden won't play. Joey Porter to blitz. Campbell's throwing a bomb. Deep down the field. A flag there. Yes, Reese caught it. I think out of bounds, but it's going to be a PI on the Arizona Cardinals on the deep one to open the ball game. Rashad Johnson, the young safety, blatantly interfering there. That's the matchup they wanted, Tom. They motioned the fullback out, and he used to be a wide receiver at the University of Washington.
Yeah, he showed up. He came on strong last year. He was very impressive last year.
Penalized with the spot of the foul and a first down.
with his versatility and then spitting out, they look for the matchups, and they got the matchup. They got tight coverage. The ball was actually a little underthrown, and he did a nice job of just catching it out of bounds, but a lot of interference.
And it's a 50-yard pass interference called on Rashad Johnson, the young safety from Alabama, who's playing for Adrian Wilson, who tore a bicep in a scrimmage recently. Campbell, a three-step drop and a throw. That's the new Raider tight end, Kevin Boss. And he is a big guy at 6'6", 6'7". Kevin Boss, welcome to Oakland. And now a little pushing and shoving post-play. Darnell Dockett involved. Somebody lost a helmet. Samson Satelli, the Raiders center, had his lid taken off. Oh, it is on, guys. We're getting back to football here. Michael Bush will run for Darren McFadden to start. Marcel Reese, the big play on the pass interference. Darius Hayward-Bay and Chaz Schillinger receivers. No Lewis Murphy or Jacoby Ford tonight. You've already met Kevin Boss. Jared Valdir, the left tackle. Daniel Loper, the left guard. Samson Satelli's already got a lather going at center. Cooper Carlisle at right guard and Khalif Barnes at right tackle. You see that kind of stuff on the practice field in training camp, guys, but they're getting after it right away. 2nd and 4 Raiders. Handoff Michael Bush up the middle. He is tackled from the backside by Paris Lennon, the inside linebacker. Cardinals have a new defensive coordinator in Ray Horton, who comes over from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at Calais Campbell. These guys are into it, Jim.
Yeah, they're...
Hey, they're coming after each other. You know, training camp is training camp, and you get a little bored about beating on yourselves all day long. So they're taking on each other right now.
Yeah, but
that's what it usually is.
They haven't been there that long to get bored.
Well, you know,
15 days.
Apparently, it was enough.
3rd down and 2. Nick Miller goes into a slot inside of Darius Hayward-Bay. Chaz Schillens goes left. The lone back is Bush on 3rd and 2. There's a blitz and a throw. The ball was deflected by Darnell Dockett and incomplete. So it will be 4th down, and that'll bring on Sebastian Janikowski. Darnell Dockett, noticing the short drop of the quarterback, red slant, Jim, was able to get his hands up and knock it away.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. You know, experienced defenders get their hands up and they see the quarterback come to a stop, and that it worked out perfectly for the Cardinal that time. Or the Cardinals.
Janikowski had a 61-yarder a couple of years ago, Tom. Remember on that freezing day in Cleveland? He had a 59-yarder last year against Indianapolis, so he's got a 59-yarder and a 61-yarder. Only Morton Anderson can say that, and that's right down the middle. Janikowski from 39 yards away, and that's the first score of the 2011 preseason. Janikowski makes it 3-0 Raiders. They are ready. Howie Long and Matt Shaughnessy. 3-0 Raiders on the Raiders broadcast. Rivers hit, ball loose. His arm was coming forward. Are they saying a fumble? The Raiders pick it up. Rand's going to run back the other way. He's going to score. It is over. For the first time since October of 2003, the Oakland Raiders have beaten the San Diego Chargers. That is called a scoop and score in the NFL. Tyvon Branch, a 64-yard fumble recovery and score the other way to seal that 35-27 win over San Diego. The Raiders beat them in San Diego later in the year. They beat Denver twice. They beat Kansas City twice. They swept the AFC West, something neither of you guys did in a 6-game division format. The Raiders have never done that before in their history, win all 6 in the division. And that's certainly going to bode for something big this year, Jim, to be able to say the Raiders won all 6 last year against the AFC West.
Certainly, it just makes a statement to the entire division that, you know, the Raiders are here to play and play hard and come out victorious.
Janikowski will kick off. Is it going to come out? It is. LeRod Stevens Howland, remember, 102 yards against the Raiders last year, but he gets hit on the 10-yard line there. And he is swallowed up at around the 13-yard line. Only a 13-yard return right from the goal line. Hiram Eugene, the Raiders safety, got down on special teams there for coordinator John Fossil and made a big play. Marcel Reese also plays on teams. The fullback had the big play of the first offensive possession when he induced that 50-yard pass interference call. So the Cardinals will start on their 14-yard line on their second possession. Raiders up 3-0 here on this Friday evening. As our Thursday evening, as we get back to football, Larry Fitzgerald will go out wide to the left. And the Raiders have already subbed in their second unit defensively. That is DeMarcus Van Dyke picking up Larry Fitzgerald. Cobb rolls that way. That's a catch by Todd Heap. Tackled by Quentin Groves. He actually spins him forward very close to a first down. A gain of 8 there. Quentin Groves, who was the Raiders' weak side linebacker a year ago, and on opening night of the preseason, he starts in that will linebacker spot time.
Yeah, and one of the weaknesses last year playing that position, both outside linebackers were really getting beaten a lot to the outside. They were leaving the zone areas. That time he stayed home where he's supposed to, was able to make the play. Even though they picked up some yards, he still made the play.
Arizona Cardinals have a new quarterback. Kevin Cobb has only practiced 5 times, so they figure to play a lot longer. So right now their first offense is in against the Raiders' second defense. Some good work for Van Dyke, the rookie here, against Larry Fitzgerald. And here we go, one-on-one. A deep ball, and it is juggled and caught. Larry Fitzgerald took it away from him on the Raider 35-yard line. He's so big and strong, and he plays the ball so well. So welcome to the NFL DVD as they go right at him for a 41-yard gainer right down the sideline, Jim.
Yeah, he's not an all-pro for nothing. What a tremendous catch. Well covered. Should have been at least knocked down, but there was Larry Fitzgerald being able to stick with it, pick it off, and pick up the big game.
That's what makes him great, Tom. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. The definition of being open is entirely different for Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he almost caught that with one hand, really. One hand in his shoulder pad.
He is always open. 1st and 10. Cobb, 5-step drop. Going to loop one again for Larry Fitzgerald. Good coverage here by Van Dyke. He got on top of him and wouldn't let him run by. Nicely done there by the guy they called in the Raider locker room, DVD. Love that nickname. He's a round 3 pick rookie out of Miami. DeMarcus Van Dyke ran a 4.28 at his pro day in Miami. He is a blazer.
He's a blazer, and they're obviously they're picking on him right now. Well, why wouldn't you pick on him when you got Larry Fitzgerald over there?
I think they also just want to get some work, Jim. Kevin Cobb and Larry Fitzgerald worked together during the lockout, curiously. Then they make the trade to get him right after it's solved. Here's a flag before a pre-snap penalty here. It's going to be a false start on the Arizona Cardinals. Ron Winter, our referee.
False start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
It's called on early Doucette. Stefan Wisniewski was the Raiders' first draft pick. Their first pick actually was a guy named Richard Seymour, as they traded their first-round pick to get the great Seymour. Van Dyke came in the 3rd round. A couple of old linemen right away, Tom. Wisniewski with the 2nd-round pick. Joe Barksdale, we'll see later, a good-looking right tackle candidate. And we'll go through the list. Chimdy Checkwell won't play tonight. Neither will Tywan Jones. They're both dinged up. 2nd and 15, Arizona. Doucette moves in motion. Cobb, a straight drop. And he'll throw out to his right. Larry Fitzgerald. They're feeding the ball to Fitzgerald now, and he's got an Arizona first down inside the 25-yard line as he beats Walter McFadden, the 2nd-year corner, for 17 yards.
Well, you know, I think they're pass protecting very well, giving Cobb time to look down the field and pick out his receiver. And as you mentioned earlier, why not go to Larry Fitzgerald? All-pro, a great receiver, comes up with big plays time and again, and you got to lay off him because he's tough.
Yeah, and he runs good routes. They're just very disciplined routes, and gets you the ball in his hands, which is the best way to catch it.
1st and 10, handoff to Beanie Wells. Stiff arms Van Dyke. First down inside the 10, cuts inside on Stevie Brown. Quentin Groves saves the touchdown, but Beanie Wells takes it 15 yards to give Arizona a 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
Yeah, Beanie Wells having a great pro career. Came on strong last year. And he's a big guy. He's a lot bigger than you would think. You thought he was a little guy when he first came out of Ohio State, but he's 229 pounds.
Nice stiff arm there on Van Dyke. Van Dyke, not a big guy. He's a good tackler, though. He weighs only 177 pounds. 1st and goal, Arizona. There's Beanie Wells right up the middle. He'll bang it down to the 3-yard line. Had a good opening initially. Again, this is the Arizona Cardinals' first-team offense, Jim. Their first offensive line against the Raiders' 2nd defense. They're not running on Richard Seymour and Tommy Kelly and Rolando McClain. Travis Gaethel is now in playing as the middle linebacker.
Yeah, and they want to give Cobb protection. They want him to get used to the offense. They traded for him, gave him a lot of money. He's their quarterback, and they want to make sure they keep that first unit in to protect him.
2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line. Beanie Wells, he'll be stopped shy of the goal line. Able to break a tackle and take it very close. They're going to spot him outside, though. But he got pretty close to the goal line there. That'll bring up a 3rd down and goal. John Henderson, a very good run stuffer.
as the runner was down by contact.
Now, it is subject to review, obviously, from Ken Wisenhunt, but it appeared as though he did not get in. Boy, Big John Henderson, Tom, having a terrific training camp. The Raiders got him from Jacksonville last year. He played well, but he looks to be even in finer form. He loves these moments. He can dig it on the goal line now. Third down and a goal from inside the one. Reagan Maui, the fullback, on a lead play. Beanie Wells gets stacked up by the Raiders' second-team defensive line. And they're trying to rip it out of there. Tommy Hill, first-year lineman from Colorado State. Quentin Groves. What does Wisenhunt do here on a 4th and goal? He's going for it?
I don't know. It looks like he might be going for it.
I tell you, in a lot of these situations a year ago, the Raider defense really came up big in a lot of short yardage situations and goal line situations such as they just did just then.
Got to be Larry Fitzgerald on a fade route here. 4th and goal. They put Cobb actually into the shotgun, a 2-by-2 formation, 2 left and 2 right. With Larry Fitzgerald left outside of early Doucette, inside handoff, Beanie Wells. He didn't get in. The Raiders will stop him shy of the goal line. They ran out of the shotgun spread, and the second-team defense stops Arizona's first-team offense, although Lamar Houston, a first-team lineman coach, snuck in there to make a play.
Well, you were just talking about the guy, John Henderson.
Raiders hold. They'll take it on the 1-yard line when we come back. Raiders 3-0 leaders on the Raiders broadcast.
Co Coliseum. I'm JT the Brick. The energy on the sideline is amazing. It started in the locker room when Hugh Jackson jacked up the entire team, saying play like a Raider on every play, never take your foot off the pedal. And on that goal line stand, he was jumping. The crowd got into it. And Gray, you can see the players here under Hugh Jackson. They are ready to go to put on a show tonight.
And that was the Raiders' second-team defense that had that goal line stand. Inside handoff here. I'm not sure that was a busted play or not. It looked a little funky, as the Raiders do keep their first-team offense on the field with one exception. Stephen Heyer, wearing number 75, is now in. He is going to play at left guard. He has replaced Daniel Loper there inside of Jared Valdir, Tom, but they're going to give the offense another series here, trying to get him out from the shadow of the black hole end zone.
Yeah, that's a good experience for him, too, coming out there. This is an area that you don't get enough work. You don't like to be down there, but you don't get enough work.
2nd and 8. Marcel Reese, the fullback, in a true eye. Michael Bush behind. Jason is audibilizing at the line. Chaz Schillen's out wide right, and Darius Hayward-Bay is left. On a 2nd and 8. Lead play. Michael Bush, good hold. It closed quickly, though, but he bangs out to the 9-yard line. Good game. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Raiders. Big Michael Bush, Tom. The Raiders lost Aaron McFadden for 3 games last year, and a couple of them, Michael Bush had huge games against San Diego and Kansas City, rushing for over 100 yards in each.
Yeah, he's a load. He's a different tempo, and between he and McFadden, they really complement each other well.
McFadden will not play tonight. He has a fractured left orbital bone, suffered on a blitz pickup in Napa, but he's fine. And he will visit with Run DMC later. Inside handoff. Michael Bush, first down, Raiders! As he powers straight ahead, Jim, with those knees churning up to his chest. No one wants to step up from the secondary and tackle that guy.
Well, they were in a great 3rd down situation. 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Runner pass situation. And, they call the right play. Good hold, good blocking there by Kevin Boss, the tight end.
Yeah, Boss, a good blocker. Spent his time with the New York Giants. Was a Super Bowl champion the 4 years with the Giants. He's a lanky target wearing number 87. Marcel Reese slides in motion. 1st and 10 Raiders. Campbell to play action to Bush. Throws out left. Caught. Darius Hayward-Bay first down. Spins out of a tackle. Almost stayed in bounds, then stepped out. Nicely done there. Jason Campbell hitting Darius Hayward-Bay on the outcut for a 14-yard pickup as he beats corner Greg Toller.
Yeah, very loose coverage out there by Toller. Toller had to be about 10 yards off when that ball was snapped, and his first 3 steps were backwards, and it was an easy route but a very well thrown ball and a nice catch.
Darius Hayward-Bay was hurt, certainly curtailed his numbers his rookie year, but he came alive at times as a second-year player. But the Raiders want more from him now in his third year. Campbell backpedaling a screen, a high throw, but a one-hand catch by Marcel Reese. He runs away from Dockett. Beautifully done by the fullback there. Jason, Jim, it got kind of congested on the screen. He had to lob it over the top, and he overthrew it slightly, and Reese just plucked it with one hand.
You know, it's a very good play by both players. Campbell didn't have any vision really of Marcel Reese, but Marcel Reese makes that one-handed catch and turns it up the field for a gain of 7 yards. A great play. And Marcel Reese, believe it or not, being a fullback, wide out sometimes, had the longest pass reception last year of 73 yards.
That was a nice block by Cooper Carlisle, Tom, getting out on the screen. There's a 2nd and 3 handoff, and Michael Bush will get stopped for no gain, maybe lost a yard. Paris Lennon, the inside linebacker, on the tackle. Keep in mind, with no organized team activities, no mini camps in the offseason, the Raiders only been in camp for a couple of weeks at a day. Plays like the screen pass there, those are the kind of things you rep in the offseason, and it's kind of hard to get back into screen pass rhythm.
Yeah, but if at training camp, you know, they were doing a lot of this screening, though. They've been working on it since day one.
Well, screens are something that, since they don't wear pads every day, they can't, but the new agreement, screens are something you can practice a lot just in the timing with no pads on.
90 seconds to go in the opening quarter, 3rd and 6. Nick Miller is in. Nick Miller's got a first down. He caught it right at the sticks. He was pushed backwards, but his forward progress will be a first down.
Nice job picking up the blitz. They came with the dogs on that one, and everybody stepped up to pick it up to give Jason time to throw the ball. He found the open guy and first down.
And Nick Miller's the kind of guy you got to like. You know, he's undersized, so to speak, but he's a tough, hard-nosed special teams guy. Great hands, good quickness. You know, he's just good to have on the team.
He had to fight his way. Last year, his first ever punt return, he took back 46 yards, and his first ever catch was an acrobatic 32-yarder. 1st and 10 Raiders. Campbell, straight drop. Going deep ball down the sideline for Hayward-Bay. It's batted away. Nice coverage there by A.J. Jefferson, the rookie corner out of Fresno State. He got up high. Jason Campbell got pressure, but he threw a nice ball. Coach, he was able to loft it up there and give a DHB a chance to pull it down.
Well, Bay did a little stutter and go, and actually had a step or two. Had to wait for the ball. The ball was underthrown. Jason's the timing. He's got to realize these guys can fly. Just let it fly. Let them run under it.
Yeah, there's two long passes by Jason tonight. Both of them have been a little bit short, but that's something that can easily work on.
Campbell 4 of 6 for 32 yards. DHB will take a playoff. Denarius Moore is now in the game as they give it to Michael Bush up the middle. Denarius Moore, wearing number 17, has been the training camp sensation. Round 5 draft pick out of Tennessee, where he averaged over 20 yards of reception last year. Jim, he is so smooth. I'm anxious to see him. He's looked so good in training camp, and now we can see him under the bright lights of an NFL preseason game.
Yeah, they've been very impressed with him at training camp. He thinks he's a steal, a find out of Tennessee.
He is fast, and he is a smooth route runner. Keep your eye on him. It's maybe the final play of the quarter. A quarter the Raiders have completely dominated. 3rd and 7. Going in motion is Nick Miller, followed by Patrick Peterson, their number 1 pick. A pre-snap penalty here and a false start, I think, on Khalif Barnes.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Kind of thought we'd have more of those, Jim, with no OTAs and no mini camps. It's been a pretty well played opening quarter.
So far it has been. Not very many penalties. And, you know, I think, you know, a lot of the thing is you can go on timing. You know, it's no pads and you work on execution time and again. You get more reps in when you don't have pads on. So I think in some ways it may be beneficial.
This may be the final play for the first team offense. If they get a first down, they'll probably let them continue the drive into the second quarter. If they don't, though, that'll be it. So motivation to pick this up even more so. And a timeout before they snap the ball. The quarter's going to end. They restarted the clock and then rolled off those 12 seconds. So
this is the end of the first quarter.
thank you, Mr. Winter. We'll have at least one play from Jason Campbell in the second quarter. Janikowski from 39 yards out. The Raiders a goal line stand. They lead after 15 minutes over Arizona. 3-0 on the Raiders. We start the second quarter. Raiders up 3-0 on the Janikowski 39-yard field goal. Time now for the Geico 15-minute review report. In the first 15 minutes, each team had 4 first downs. Arizona outrushed the Raiders 34-18. They outpassed them 68-32, but the Raiders really have been the better team. Kevin Cobb 4 of 7, 68 yards, 2 receptions, 60 yards from Larry Fitzgerald. Jason Campbell 4 of 6 for 32. Here's his 7th pass. Catch! Denarius Moore breaks a tackle 40. And he's finally dropped on the Arizona 36-yard line. The young man is upset he didn't score. He beat A.J. Jefferson, Tom, on a crossing route, and Campbell delivered it for a 26-yarder.
Well, you and I talked about that before the game. You said that you've seen it more than I have this year. That
He is so smooth. Campbell going to throw out right. This one is broken up. A comeback route to Chaz Schillings. Good play by A.J. Jefferson. Schillings is healthy. Something we've not said in a couple of years. You look at the depth at this wide receiving core. Jacoby Ford won't play tonight. He broke a bone of his left wrist early in camp. Lewis Murphy also a bit dinged up, Jim, but DHB, Murphy, Jacoby Ford. You get Schillings back with Nick Miller. And what do you have here in this young rookie out of the University of Tennessee?
Yeah, it'd be tough finding a spot for him, but that's kind of the situation you want to be in, where every position that you've got is very competitive.
Moore's off the field now. Nick Miller is wide left and Darius Hayward-Bay right. A little confusion, and then Jason Campbell will call a Raider timeout there. First of the first half.
Oakland.
Hey, Pop.
First.
Pop, you talk about the receiving core of last year, and you take a look at all the number of long passes, and it's amazing.
Big play offense, and you got McFadden with a big play running game. 3-0 Raiders, 38 seconds into the second quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. O.co Coliseum kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? 3-0 Raiders. We are so excited about the new year. Raiders will open the home schedule against the New York Jets here on September the 25th. They begin the year with a couple of road games in Denver and Buffalo. The first 2 home games are against the Jets and Patriots. The home schedule this year, just superb. 1-800-Raiders or Raiders.com to get your Raider tickets all year. Don't miss out. The time appears to be now. Khalif Barnes didn't know what time to get off there. He false starts. Raiders played a pretty penalty-free quarter.
Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Yeah, the
First
only
quarter now, a few false starts.
Yeah, the only penalties were on Barnes. And that time he was the only one moving at all.
He was ready.
Yeah, I guess he was ready.
That time is now for Khalif. He wants to get a starting job back. He was a Jacksonville Jaguar for 4 years, made 57 starts at left tackle. He's going to be in a good battle to start at right tackle with the Raiders round 3 rookie Joe Barksdale, who we'll see later. Remember when Jason threw that touchdown pass to Khalif, Tom?
Yep.
Last year, that was fun. 2nd and 15. End around flip to Schillings, Arizona not fooled. That's Joey Porter. Joey known for his pass rushing and sacking, but he stayed home on the backside there on the end around to Schillings on the flip, and that did not work out.
That's one of the plays that Coach Hugh Jackson really loves. He loves the reverses. He loves those big play opportunities that sometimes occur during the course of a ball game.
And when you got speed, you get him flowing the wrong direction, you can hurt him, but Joey Porter was able to stay home there. 3rd down and 15 Raiders on the Arizona 42-yard line. Sean Botiford is coming at wide receiver along with Darius Hayward-Bay and Nick Miller. Kevin Bosch, your tight end. Michael Bush to Campbell's left in the shotgun on 3rd down. Campbell throws short. Catch Michael Bush will be tackled inside the 35. They're not in first down range, but maybe Janikowski range here, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, he'd have to kick off the dirt, so I'm not sure. No, well, they're going to do it. They're going to try it, yeah.
You were there in Cleveland when he made a 61-yarder on a freezing day.
Dirt, ice, it doesn't matter. Jano can kick off at anything. He'll kick off the freeway.
52 off the dirt. Janikowski, the strongest legged kicker in pro football today, maybe ever. A 52-yarder. They're all back together again. John Kondo, the great snapper. Leckler, the holder. And a little movement pre-snap here. Yeah. And the Raiders false started. So now do they punt or let them try a 57-yarder?
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Khalif Barnes is saying, why are you picking on me, Ron Winter? Is that 3 false starts on Khalif?
Yeah, 3 of them.
The hat trick.
2 in this drive.
All right, so Janikowski will not try a 52-yarder. Leckler will try to pooch this inside the 10. Leckler will take a couple of punts tonight, and that'll be it. Glenn Pakalak will come in later. Andre Foster lets it go over his head, and that's from the end zone for a rare Leckler touchback. Don't normally see Shane do that. So the Arizona Cardinals will take it on their 20-yard line. We are 2 minutes into the second quarter, and the Raiders lead the Cardinals by a score of 3-0 on the first quarter 39-yarder from Jano. They are glad to be back, as we are, on the Oakland Raiders.
Welcome back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. I'm JT, and take a look at this home schedule. It opens up with the Jets at home, and then right after that, the New England Patriots. You look at this schedule, it is strong with the AFC West. Detroit comes in, Cleveland comes in. Greg, I'll tell you, the fans are already talking about the Jets. Think of all of those classic Jet games, and now with Ryan coming in with that team talking, this home schedule jumps out at you right out of the gate, Greg.
This may be the best home schedule I can remember in many years, when you open against Rex Ryan and then go to Bill Belichick in week 2 of the home schedule. Do not miss it. 1-800-RAIDERS or Raiders.com. John Skelton is now in at quarterback, as Kevin Cobb has done. Rod Stevens howling, stopping in the hole, squirming out of it, but Desmond Bryant was there to stop the undersized running back. John Skelton takes over, second-year quarterback out of Fordham, where they drafted in the 5th round a couple of years ago. Played in 5 games, made 4 starts last year, Tom. They had very poor quarterback play a year ago, and I'm being kind, after the retirement of Kurt Warner and the release of Matt Leinart. They really struggled, but Skelton, among the young guys, played the best, and he figures to be their backup to Kevin Cobb this year. 2nd and 8. Larod Stevens-Howling got 2 on the first down carry. Arizona keeping a lot of their first-team offensive line people, and Jarvis Moss jumped off sides. I believe he was, false start on Arizona. Moss was so fast, though, it looked like he was offsides.
Someone on the left side.
Offense number 75.
Go tackle move.
5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Levi Brown, Jim, but Jarvis Moss has it triggered, doesn't he?
Certainly looked that way.
He was wound up tight and ready to go, and as soon as Levi Brown moved, he was in the backfield.
Jarvis Moss, former Denver Bronco, was a high draft pick, a round 1, number 17 overall in 07 out of Florida. Raiders picked him up last year. 2nd and 13, Arizona. Early Doucette goes in motion. Jeremy Ware follows a blitz. Boyd couldn't get Skelton. Skelton will get wide enough to avoid the grounding, as the Raiders sent on a safety blitz there, Jerome Boyd.
He was pressured on the play.
He plays like a linebacker, Jim. He's such a big, strong guy, but he came untouched and couldn't get the quarterback, though.
Well, sometimes that's what quarterbacks aren't aware of. Young quarterbacks in particular can't read the whole field, can't see the cheating of the backs up, ready to come, and it hurts him a little bit. But he did get rid of the ball, got outside, made Boyd miss.
Yeah, he did a nice job of just getting rid of the ball and not taking the sack.
Jerome was a hero in the Raiders' first preseason game a year ago in Dallas, you'll recall, when he had the interception in return for a score to seal the game in the final 33 seconds. 3rd and 13, Skelton Gum. They're going to blitz 2 defensive backs, and almost interception from a D lineman. Stevie Brown and Jeremy Ware both came on blitzes, a corner blitz and a safety blitz, and Skelton just got rid of it, and Big John almost intercepted it.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. That looked like it might have been a middle screen, the way he threw the ball.
I think he was just trying to get rid of it down before he got killed.
Yeah, I guess that was just. There was a back there, though, waiting for the ball, and you're right. He was just protecting himself.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tom. I thought it was a middle screen.
Yeah, it looked like it to start with.
But he was going to get killed, Jim, so that was part of his thinking.
Well, kill is
self-preservation is very big in this
middle
game.
screen it before I get blasted.
Yeah, kill is a strong word.
Hit hard. Here's a good punt by Graham. Nice catch by Nick Miller. 25, 30, cuts inside and got hit hard and dropped on the 33-yard line. That was a 55-yard punt there and a 6-yard return from Nick Miller. Marcel Reese and Michael Bush starting in the Raider backfield tonight. We'll watch the remainder of the game. Let's see what the Raiders do with quarterback when we come back. 3-0 Raiders, 11.5 to go in the half on the Raiders broadcast. Welcome back. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the broadcast booth on our radio and TV simulcast on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Down low is George Atkinson and JT the Brick. Jason Campbell's night is done, Tom, and he played pretty well. He was 6 of 9 for 66 yards. Hit Darius Hayward Bay twice for 39 yards. And here's Kyle Bowler. He was a Raider a year ago, former #1 draft pick to the Baltimore Ravens out of Cale. Brock Cartwright on the cutback run, and he runs for the first down. Nicely done there by the Rock. He picks up 10 plus as we check in with George Atkinson downstairs with the leader of the Raiders D. George.
You're right, Greg. I'm here with Richard Seymour. Look like you guys are operating on all cylinders already.
Well, I wouldn't say that much at this point. You know, it's a great opportunity. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for us to get out here and knock the rust off. And, you know, we still have a long ways to go, but it's a great opportunity for us.
Number 89, Nick Miller from number 7,
Kyle Bowler completing one to Nick Miller on the outcut. Richard, Greg Pop up in the booth. I was not invited to your workouts in Atlanta, so I'm intrigued on what happened. You flew a lot of the guys down there. Tell me about the off-season workouts you orchestrated in Atlanta. Can Big Richard hear me?
What's going on, Raider Nation? It's Mr. Seymour here.
He's so good he can pick it up, but he can't hear. There's the handoff to Rock Cartwright. Rich, can you hear me up here? Greg Papa. Something tells me he doesn't hear.
I don't think so.
During the labor impasse in the offseason, he flew a lot of the Raiders to Atlanta, Georgia for workouts. So, and Jason Campbell was certainly involved in that. There's Richard Seymour welcoming Marcel Reese and some of the Raiders to Atlanta as they were able to get on the practice field, stretch it out, and stay in shape. He is the leader of this team, not just the defense. Kyle Bowler on second down. Nice throw, catch. Brandon Myers extends for a first down. Beautifully done there. Nice pass by Kyle Bowler. Coach, he led Brandon Myers, the tight end, beautifully.
Very nice. It has a nice drop. It has a very quick delivery. That ball's out of there very quick. He had a little bit of pressure, not a lot, but stands tall. Looks very polished in the pocket so far.
And what you're impressed by is he gets it out in front, so the receiver, once he makes the catch, can continue running and getting some extra yards.
Arizona also came out of blitz, and a nice pickup there by the Raiders offensive line. 1st and 10 Raiders inside the 34. Zero route to Denarius Moore. And he is tackled right after he caught it by Patrick Peterson, the #1 pick. Actually, it was Richard Marshall who made the tackle. Richard Seymour, you back with us? Can you hear me now? Big Rich, you there?
I can hear.
You can hear me. Tell me about Atlanta, Georgia. You flew a lot of your teammates down for the off-season workouts. Tell me about that idea and what were you guys able to accomplish during the impasse? He just told me he could hear, couldn't he? He's not hearing me. He's hearing somebody else. 2nd and 8. Here's Bowler. Throw out left, catch. Denarius Moore. There he is, Tom. Flag does come down. But a nice outcut there on the veteran Richard Marshall. They're feeding the ball to Moore now.
Flag on the play.
Well, the flag is back by the quarterback, so either has to be roughing or holding. One of the two.
Here's Ron Winter getting the call from the side judge. Nick Eason, the veteran lineman, is this going to be tacked down here. This is going to be against Arizona, it looks like. They're going to give the catch to Moore and tack on some more.
I think it must be roughing the passer. I saw Bowler get up after he threw the
Personal
ball.
foul.
Yep.
Roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Defense, number 94. Back the distance to the goal. First down.
Protect those QBs.
That's right. You're surrounded by QBs up here, Greg.
Sam Acho, the rookie round 4 draft pick out of Texas. Last couple of years there, he had 19 quarterback sacks and played with his brother. Sam Acho. Raiders have gone to a backup offensive line here, but they're still moving down the field. Stephen Heyer's come into play at left tackle. Alex Parsons is at left guard. Stefan Wisniewski is now at center, the round 2 pick out of Penn State. They give it a Cartwright. Good block by Tonga, the fullback, but it was stacked up. Schoening has gone into play at right guard, and Joe Barksdale at right tackle, Tom. So the Raiders have their rookie center, Wisniewski in, and their rookie right tackle, Barksdale, in here on the O-line. Let's keep an eye on them.
Yeah, got to keep an eye on Wisniewski, see if he plays with the same intensity that his uncle did. After that play was over, he and another guy were shoving back and forth, so maybe he does.
He's a Wisniewski. And his dad was a heck of a player as well at Penn State. 2nd and 9 from the 11. Bowler play action, right flat. Tonga the catch. He got spilled low. It's Patrick Peterson there. He was the #1 pick overall for the Cardinals, the 5th overall selection out of LSU, where he had a tremendous career. Won the Narek Award for the top defender in the nation, the Thorpe Award for the nation's
3
top
yards on that
defensive back. He's going to be a good one. Nice open field tackle here on Tonka, Jim.
Yeah, yes it is. He comes up, keeps to the outside, and cuts him low, makes the tackle. Got to be tough to be a DB.
Arizona Cardinals without their 4-time Pro Bowl safety, Adrian Wilson, who suffered a torn biceps tendon earlier in camp at a scrimmage. Boulder throws out right. Brandon Myers will slip down before he gets in it. Nice tackle there by Reggie Walker, third-year linebacker out of K-State. The Raiders will bring in Janikowski now as they drive inside the 20 and stall out. Janikowski made a 39-yard field goal in the first quarter, was lining up to try a 52-yarder in the second, but a false start foiled that before it even got airborne, and they punted. Leckler into hold, and Kondo will snap. 25-yarder for Seabass. Remember last year in Arizona, the Raiders, a heartbreaking loss. They were beaten by a point as Janikowski missed a 32-yard field goal with just 4 seconds to go. That was early in the year and a very tough loss. He's so capable from that distance usually. So Jano drills it, and the Raiders have a 6-0 lead. That drive orchestrated by Kyle Bowler. 6-0 Raiders, 6.5 to go in the first half on the Raiders broadcasting. Kyle Bowler was very sharp on his first drive, hit all 6 of his throws. A few checkdowns in the flat, but he completed all 6 for 36 yards. Janikowski from 25 yards out, and the Raiders have a pair of Seabass field goals. Andre Foster, the wide receiver, is back, along with Patrick Peterson. He was a terrific kick returner, punt returner at LSU, and he is back to return this kick for the Cardinals on the goal line. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett in the booth. Downstairs, JT the Brick and George Atkinson on our Raiders radio and TV simulcast. This is 7 yards deep, but Peterson wants to come out. 10, 15, 20, 25, and spins out, rolling all the way out. Nice return there by Patrick Peterson of 34 yards. Walter McFadden in on the tackle for the Raiders special teams. Cardinals will take over from their 25 when we come back. 6-0 Raiders, 6.5 to go in the half on the Raiders broadcast. Buy or sell official Raiders tickets. Visit NFL.com/ticket exchange. Raiders have one more preseason game to go, and it will be a good one. A nationally televised game on NBC coming up on August the 28th. And then next time they're in the stadium will be against the Jets in the home opener. LaRod Stevens-Howling getting wide right, breaks a tackle. Hiram Eugene going to pull him down, though, as he crosses the 30 and up to around the 31-yard line.
LaRod Stevens-Howling around the right end.
LaRod Stevens-Howling, Tom, not a big guy, tremendous kickoff returner. Took the one back against the Raiders last year, 102 yards. He's played just 2 years in the NFL. He's already got 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that they can use out of the backfield. A little short, 5'7", hard to see back there, but kind of an all-purpose guy, returner, and catches the ball well out of the backfield and is very quick.
2nd and 4. He's the lone back in a 2-by-2, 4-wide receiver formation. They draw to LaRod Stevens-Howling, got stacked up there, and he gets nothing. Jarvis Moss, very nice defensive play to stack it up. And Travis Gaethel, the young linebacker out of Arizona State, a Raider round 6 pick last year, was held back a bit, Jim, last year at the beginning of the year due to disc surgery on the back. But the Raiders are very high on this guy. He's playing middle linebacker right now, but he could also play on the outside.
Yeah, they were talking very highly of him last year. Unfortunately, the surgery obviously slowed him down a bit. He's getting his playing time now once again, and he's going to show what he can do.
He's the leader of the defense right now, playing the Mike, the middle linebacker. He's getting the calls from new defensive coordinator Chuck Bresnahan. 3rd and 4. Skelton back. 4-man pressure. He's got time. Throws middle. Ball juggled by Heap. And it is caught by someone, by Heap himself. Todd Heap, the former Baltimore Raven, 2-time Pro Bowler, had the ball delivered into his hands. He bobbled it up in the air. Looked like Hiram Eugene was going to intercept it. But Heap on the ricochet, Jim was able to get it back in for a first down.
Yeah, bounced straight up in the air. He's still going towards the football as it was flying around. And, you know, guys like Todd Heap, they come up with those kinds of balls.
Nice play by Heap. Baltimore Ravens in a cross-cutting move cut him, although he has been injured the last couple of years. There's a counter handoff to LaRod Stevens-Howling, and he's into Raider territory as he's dropped down the 49-yard line. This back is fast, JT, but I know a back that's a whole lot faster.
Thank you, Greg. I'm with Darren McFadden. Last year at this time, we were talking about Hugh Jackson, your offensive coordinator, getting you more touches. He backed it up. How do you feel about him being your head coach now?
You know, I love him right now because I know Coach Jackson, he's the type of guy, he want to get the ball in my hand and let me make plays and do what I can do with the ball. So I'm looking forward to being able to go out there and play for him, you know, and I think we're going to make it a great year for the Raider Nation.
Greg, back to you.
All right, as Darren got a moment here, is a play action. Skelton going to run for his life. Will throw it away to the right, and that is out of bounds, incomplete. Stephen Williams on the coverage. Darren, you down there still?
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling? We're worried about this fractured orbital bone. How does this happen when you have a football helmet on? Quentin Groves comes in at a blitz pickup and breaks your eye socket?
I just tell everybody it was one of those deals. It was just a freak accident because people ask me will I change my helmet and anything. Well, I'm not going to change my helmet. It was just something that happened when we were doing one-on-one blitz pickup, and when I hit, my helmet came down over my face, and you know, it was just one of those freak accidents.
It's your left eye. I'm looking at you right now. I can't even tell, so I think you'll be good to go. Are you going to play in the preseason at all, or are you going to come right to Denver on opening night?
I'm going to be good to go. It's one of those deals. It's not as bad as it sounds. You know, a lot of people here are broken bone in the eye socket, but it's not as bad as it sounds. You know, right now I'm just going to let the trainers and things decide whether they want me to get out there. Because it's just one of those deals. If you get contact, it can make it worse. So right now they're going to let it heal up for me.
Here's Stevens-Howling with a long run. A flag is down. Stevens-Howling is inside the Raider 20 and dropped on the 18-yard line. This may be coming back, though. Walter McFadden made the tackle. Ron Winter, our referee. The flag was thrown.
Holding.
Yeah, it's on Arizona.
Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That's probably why there was such a big hole. A little holding going on. Prior to that, the way they got down there, they gained some yards, Greg, while we were talking there. Walter McFadden had a PI on one of the previous plays.
Hey, Darren, what'd you do in the offseason? Because you had such a great year last year. You were not able to work out with Kelly Skipper, your running back coach, in the offseason. What did you do this offseason to get ready for this year?
I just tried to do a lot of things I did last summer coming into the season. I did that most of the offseason, so I feel like I'm going to be even better than what I was last year. I'm just looking forward to getting back out on the field and showing everyone what I can do again.
Just get healthy and stay healthy, and you'll be good to go. Darren, thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Darren McFadden. Deuce Latouille on the hold. There's a throw out and a catch to Andre Roberts working on DVD. To Marcus Van Dyke. Deuce Latouille should be called Trey Latouille. Boy, has he gotten big. He's up to almost 400 pounds. He actually went to Cleveland or Cincinnati briefly, but he did not make weight. He's weighing about 380. They let him go, and Arizona brought him back. So what do we have in store from Run DMC this year, Jim, after a breakthrough year last year and a lot of explosive plays in the running game?
You know, they'll try to find more ways to get him the ball, whether it be a passing game. Obviously, they're going to continue to run him hard. And, you know, he's got a lot of support. That offensive line played well at times, most of the time, as a matter of fact. And, you know, you got a guy like Darren McFadden, the things he can do, breaking tackles, running away from people. You know, he's an explosive player. He's a great player.
Walter McFadden held on the stutter and go there. Stephen Williams, the wide receiver, ran the stop and go. And McFadden just blatantly grabbed him for a pass interference call in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he's arguing with the official right now, but that's going to deaf ears.
Defense number 22. Penalizing the spot of the foul on the first down.
He's had a couple on this drive, huh?
Yeah, a couple on, and they were picking on him obviously on that side, but they're throwing on both sides, so they're trying to keep it equal, but you just can't reach out and grab the guy. He had a little help deep, so it wasn't really necessary.
Yeah, one of the things that the Raiders aren't doing right now with this particular defensive lineup is they're not getting to the quarterback. It seems like he's having a lot of time to throw the football. They're going to have to find a way to put pressure on him.
2.5 to go in the opening half. Raiders 6-0 leaders. Out of the eye. They run the draw play. A bounce outside from the Rod Stevens-Howling. Nice tackle there by Jarvis Moss. Moss made a very nice play. He's known for his quick trigger, Tom, a great pass rusher, but he played that run play very well.
Well, he's got he's a long, tall body. He's got real long arms, and he just reached out. He did a nice spin move off the block, and then spun out and reached out with those long arms and just brought the receiver down. That little guy, Howling, is a tough guy to bring down. He's a squatty little tough guy.
Jarvis Moss played 5 games with the Raiders a year ago. He signed late in the year in November, and he had a quarterback sack in that season finale win against Kansas City. If you reach the Pennzoil 2-minute warning, not just Pennzoil, not just oil, but Pennzoil. 6-0 Raiders on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Here's Campbell stepping up in the pocket, throwing over the middle. It is broken up and taken away by Ford. Jacoby Ford. Campbell drops. Pressured by Ali. Steps up. Deep ball for Ford. He's out there. He's got it. He's got it. November the 7th against Kansas City. Jacoby Ford, what a game. Returned the second half kickoff, 94 yards for a touchdown, and then single-handedly won the game in the fourth quarter in the overtime. 6 catches for 148 yards. Not bad for a 4th-round draft pick. Second down here. Skelton back, throws middle, a catch to Early Doucette, and he should have a first down at around the 15-yard line. What a draft class the Raiders had, Tom, in 2010. They got 3 starters with the first 3 picks in McLean, Houston, and Valdir. Jacoby Ford, explosive. He scored 7 touchdowns last year, catching and kick returning and pass catching. They got some depth in the later rounds. We're going to have a feature coming up on that class of last year, but that's a good one, isn't it?
Oh, great class, because they all were contributors last year, and this year it even looks more promising.
Al Davis has had a lot of great draft classes, but 2010 may be one of the very finest he's had. First and 10, Larard Stevens Howling trying to get wide. Nice tackle there made by Travis Gaethel, who was a part of that draft class out of Arizona State. He was a 6th rounder. Nicely done, Jim, to shed the block, get out there and make the tackle in the wing.
Yeah, well, that's very tough with Howling out there getting around the corner, but he was able to do that. Right there, he sheds the tackle and makes the tackle. He sheds the blocker, I'm sorry, he makes the tackle. He can go laterally very well, very quick.
Arizona Cardinals now bring in Ryan Williams as the running back. He is their 2nd-round pick out of Virginia Tech, where he had a tremendous freshman year. Little guy, 5'9", 212, wearing number 34. Second down, flag comes in, pre-snap penalty here.
For a left tackle, I think that time, Batista.
And flags all over the place. You got 2 on each side of the field. Delay a game is going to be the call.
Oh, delay a game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
I think the left tackle moved, Tom, but the delay a game came first. 30 seconds to go in the half. Kevin Cobb quarterbacked the Cardinals for the first quarter. Now we're seeing their backup, John Skelton, out of Fordham University, where he was a starter all 4 years. His brother, Steven Skelton, is on this team. We'll see him later. He's a backup tight end. Trying to get the timing, I think, correct here, and the down and distance. And now they're going to go over and talk to Ken Wisenhunt. They get a timeout before he's saying that he tried to get a timeout before the delay game.
Arizona was elected to take a timeout in lieu of a 10-second runoff as a result of a false start penalty that stopped the clock.
And delay a game this part of the half.
Team timeout.
They would run off 10 seconds.
This will be a 30-second time.
But they'll take the timeout. So now each team has 2 timeouts remaining for these final 31 seconds of the half.
Yeah, it's a good move because you only have 31 seconds left here. You want to preserve 10 seconds. Is a lot of seconds to preserve. They want to obviously get a score, some kind of a score here.
10 seconds is 2 plays.
Yeah.
Ken Wisenhunt, the longtime offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, he has turned this franchise around. They were 1 play away from winning the Super Bowl in 2008. Won back-to-back NFC West titles in 08 and 09. Last year with the retirement of Warner, they were wielding a quarterback, won just 5 games. Got off to a 3-2 start last year, then lost 7 in a row. Made quite an investment in Kevin Cobb, trading Dominic Rogers, Cromartie, and a second-round pick, and then giving Cobb a huge contract, 5-year deal for $67 million. And they got to get better at quarterback. 2nd and 15 for Arizona on the Raider 19-yard line. Raiders up 6-0 here late in the half. John Skelton will go into a shotgun formation. Here's Ryan Williams, the round 2 pick out of Virginia Tech, to his left. Andre Foster goes in motion left. Watched by Jeremy Ware. Skelton has time, steps up, throws end zone, caught for a touchdown. Stephen Williams with the touchdown catch in the end zone for the Arizona Cardinals, and they're an extra point away from taking the lead. He beat DVD on that play. DeMarcus Van Dyke was beaten for the touchdown.
It was just good pass protection, I think. Excuse me, Tom. Has all data, to check the field out, find the open man, and eventually somebody is going to get open.
Harden Eugene, the safety, slipped a little bit. He may be able to make a play on that play, but he slipped, and Van Dyke was beaten.
Yeah, he was playing he was underneath coverage, and he was right in the lane until he slipped, and all of a sudden that ball came whistling by, and by that time the touchdown was made.
We are at technically below sea level here at the O.Co Coliseum, and it is a night game, obviously, and it is tough to stay up. Here's the point after, drilled through by the veteran kicker Jay Feely, who's had to take a new numeral this year. He wore number 4 for years, but with Cobb coming on, he has taken number 3. So Feely with the extra point and 25 seconds to go in the half. The Raiders are down for the first time, 7-6. See what the Raiders do when they get the kickoff here, what they'll do on offense when we come back. Arizona 7, Raiders 6, late in the first half on the Raiders broadcasting. Raiders were winning the entire first half. Arizona just took the lead in the final 25 seconds of the first half. And they will kick off here. Jay Feely will kick to Nick Miller, who was back at the goal line to return this kickoff. The Raiders get a big return here, Tom. It could set them up to do something before the half, but if they don't, they'll probably kneel out the remainder of the half.
Yeah, I think so. I think, with having Sebastian as their kicker, they need to get out, obviously, up the midfield someplace.
See what kind of return Nick Miller can give them. He'll come running up, take it on the 6-yard line. Far left, stays left, outside the numbers 20, 25. Will dive out to the 27. And that'll be all for him. Richard Marshall, former Carolina Panther, signed on as a free agent after the lockout was lifted, a 1-year deal. So 20 seconds to go in the half. Raiders do have 2 timeouts to use. Jason Campbell, the quarterback for the first quarter and a little bit in the second quarter. We've seen Kyle Bowler in the second quarter. Janikowski's getting ready to kick, Jim, so maybe they'll take a shot here.
They might try to get it down the field to give Janikowski one opportunity, possibly, to attempt a field goal.
Trent Edwards, the former Stanford star, the Raiders signed. He'll quarterback the second half. There's Bowler, screen, Cartwright. And Cartwright will be tackled at the 35-yard line. Timeout, or let it run here? They'll let it run. Yeah, a few more ticks go, and now they call it a timeout. Timeout with 8 seconds to go in the half.
Timeout. Oakland.
Boy, they wasted about 3 or 4 seconds of that one.
Yeah, they certainly did. A little indecisive about what they wanted to do.
So we got a Cale Stanford battle to be Jason Campbell's backup this year. Kyle Bowler, who was on the team last year, and Trent Edwards, who lived with you for a time.
No, Trent never did. Many other quarterbacks did.
He was the one who didn't, huh?
He was a local kid from Los Gatos High School.
So many of the Stanford quarterbacks come over to Plunkett's house.
Yeah, yeah. Not a bad place to hang out.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Trent had a good time in Buffalo to start his career. He got blasted one Sunday by Adrian Wilson with his Cardinals, suffered a concussion, and never was able to find the rhythm. Bowler's going deep, ball down the sideline for Moore, and that was broken up, and he's out of bounds. Took a shot to Denarius Moore. A.J. Jefferson on the coverage. We have 1 second to go in the half. We're not done yet. Take one more shot. Moore is so good, Tom, at adjusting to the ball in flight. We have seen him on the practice field in Napa time and time again, and a play just like that go up and come down with the one-on-one battle.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do for these guys that are speed guys. You know, because they're going at such a fast pace. That ball looks a little different when it's coming down, but obviously he does a pretty good job with it.
He just ran 1.9 route. Jim, has he got one more in him?
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Run it again, young man.
Except I don't think they're going to allow anybody behind them this time.
And that'll be the half. Kyle Bowler gets sacked to end the first half. Raiders in a couple of Janikowski field goals led throughout the half, and then Skelton hit Stephen Williams with 25 seconds to go in the half. And it's the Cardinals who have a 1-point halftime lead. Arizona 7, the Raiders 6. We are back to football, and we are back to Oakland and excited here on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network. Handling the Raider kickoffs here in the second half for Sebastian Janikowski. Bakalak was in the Raiders camp a few years ago. He's going to keep this one short. It'll be Andre Foster stepping up, taking it at the 10. Going to come back the other way with room to go. Walter McFadden will make the tackle along with Bodiford. A flag does come in at the end of the play, as the reversal there by Foster lost his helmet at the end of the play. Walter McFadden. His cousin is Patrick Peterson. On an earlier kickoff return, he actually tackled his cousin. Here's Ron Winter, our referee tonight. It is a holding call on the Arizona Cardinals, so their drive start will not be nearly as good. They'll be pushed back inside their 20-yard line.
And Tom, isn't during the preseason usually where you get most of your penalties is on special teams, whether it be punt or kickoff return?
Yeah, a lot of sloppy play in those areas. You know, and a lot of young kids playing also. You got a lot of kids just fighting for their lives, trying to make the team on special teams.
Not just the preseason, it's that way in the regular season.
Yeah, well, you don't want it to happen, young.
Here's a counter handoff to Ryan Williams, the rookie out of Virginia Tech. He is a good-looking back, not a big guy, coach, 5'9", 212. His freshman year at Va Tech, this dynamic young player. He scored 21 touchdowns to tie Marshall Faulk's all-time freshman record.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's a pretty good league they play. Virginia Tech plays a real good brand of football. Now it looks like there's a Raider down the field.
There is a Raider down on the play, and in a lot of pain. Looks like Hiram Eugene. Dr. King and Scott Touche and Rod Martin are out on the scene, and this one looks bad. You don't want to see that. 7-6 Arizona, early second half on the Raiders broadcast. Recently in training camp, the Raiders had some of their greats back. Art Toms and Clem Daniels, and Jim Plunkett got to address the team. James, what'd you tell the guys?
A lot of stuff, I can't repeat here.
Really?
But no, it's just, it's a new season. It's all about winning championships, and get out there and be prepared to do your best.
Yeah, this is a family show, Greg.
All right. Plunkett, I thought, could clean it up for me. This is not a good sign. You never want to see a cart on an athletic field. Hiram Eugene, a big part of the Raiders' secondary, great range, sideline to sideline, appears to be in a lot of pain, and they are bringing the cart out. That's just so tough. See Dr. Warren King, the Raiders team orthopedist, along with their head trainer Rod Martin. He can't put any weight on that at all, so they're going to. Players hate when they have to do this, and we hate to see it. That's the one thing, Coach, about the preseason and the no offseason, the OTAs and the mini camps. Now, this is probably unrelated, but you just hope guys don't get a lot of injuries here when they actually start tackling each other live, since they didn't do anything really in the offseason at all as far as being football players.
Yeah, they didn't get their. You have to bang yourself around. It's almost like a masochist having to bang themselves around, get their body ready for contact, and grueling contact work. Go through the aches and the agonies of recovering from your first days of real contact. And they haven't had much of that this year, so they're going into this is the first taste they've had of it. And we certainly hope that Hiram is it's not serious. If they're going to err, they're going to err on the side of caution. The new directives from the league offices, especially on concussions, Greg.
Yeah.
This is not a concussion, but especially on concussions, now that we have time to talk about injuries, concussions are something that when Jim played and when I played, you got your bell rung, and you shook it off and got rid of the cobwebs. You went back in,
right.
and now no such thing anymore as bell runs. Bells getting rung. You're going to miss a week, a game, or whatever it takes, whatever the new rules say.
And I think a lot of studies got to be done, over the next several years to see how, the lack of contact, the one-a-day sessions affect the players, as far as, health-wise, injury-wise, and all that kind of thing, because this is relatively new. And, I think a long study should be done just to see the injury factors.
There's the current number 24 with the original number 24, the great Willie Brown, the Hall of Famer, with Michael Huff as one of their guys. The secondary member, Hiram Eugene, has to be carted off the field. He is a rangy safety, Hiram, out of Louisiana Tech. A good find. The Raiders found him as a rookie free agent, undrafted back in September '05. He's been a good player for the Raiders.
Yeah, and he's also, he's an all-purpose guy because he plays all the teams.
Right.
And, good tackler and one of the team guys, one of the true team guys. It's hard to tell what part of his body they're protected at this point. I can't tell.
We'll get you an update, JT will, when we find out, as they cart him off the field. We wish our best to Hiram Eugene. We are wondering, as probably all are you, why the Raiders had to kick off for a second time tonight. They kicked off to open the game, and then they kicked off to start the second half. So there may have been somewhat of a miscommunication when I think the Raiders won the toss, and you have to be very clear on what you say. If you say we'll kick off, then you won't get the ball in the second half as well. So we got to check on that and see what happened. Here's John Skelton, and he's going to play action and throw it up for Stephen Williams, who takes it away from Walter McFadden. Williams, who caught their touchdown pass, has some good size as well. At 6'5", he went up and just took it away, very Larry Fitzgerald-like.
Sure did, and there's no question they're checking. They're going after McFadden a little bit more than the other side of the ball. That's the third time they tried him deep, and two of them have been interference, and that one was a completion.
Sometimes, players, when they're running the second teams, like Skelton is right now, and Williams, they work out a lot together rather than the starters, and sometimes you just have favorites you go to.
1st and 10, Arizona on their 49. Stretch half ahead off to the rookie Williams. And he's into Raider territory, but he picks up only a couple of yards. The Arizona Cardinals traded Tim Hightower once the lockout lifted to Washington to get veteran lineman Vonnie Holiday. So Beanie Wells is going to be in the mix, but they're high on Ryan Williams, maybe taking some playing time. And the Raiders, right after the lockout lifted, signed the former Stanford quarterback Trent Edwards via Buffalo and Jacksonville last year, and he will be the Raiders quarterback in the third quarter. When he's been healthy, Jim, he's been quite capable both as a college player and in the NFL, but he's not been able to stay healthy.
No, he's had that trouble all along, even at Stanford. It was tough going for him as health-wise goes.
Skelton on a great play action, rolled to his right, and then finds the running back Ryan Williams out of the backfield. He beats Sam Williams on the play. That was a great play action pass, Coach, first of all to Williams, and then he just kept it alive and rolled out and hit Williams for a gain of 23 yards.
Yeah, there was no containment on that side of the field. The defensive left side of the defense, the line, they just allowed him to spin away and get outside the containment, and then he had plenty of time. That puts a lot of jeopardy on that defensive backfield.
Arizona's moved from inside their 20 on this possession to begin the third quarter. Here's Skelton lobbing one for Williams, and a lot of bumping, but no flag on Walter McFadden. Good play by McFadden there. Got to be physical with this big wide receiver, and he got away with it there. Nicely done.
A lot of young kids in that lineup right now. The defensive lineman Tommy Hill's playing over at the defensive left end. First-year guy, and it's interesting to see these young kids in their first taste of professional football.
2nd and 10 for Arizona, just underway here in the second half on opening night of the 2011 preseason. The Raiders, a week from Saturday, will be at Candlestick Park at Bill Walsh Field to take on the 49ers. Handoff, Williams out of a pile, breaks a tackle, and Zach Etheridge fumbles. Stevie Brown picks it up. They're going to say he's down, but that is subject to review, of course. So we'll look and see if Williams was actually down. The Raiders did recover the fumble. We shall see. Right now they are ruling it on the field as though he was down. Let's take a look and see if he was down. He tripped down, he was stumbling, reached out, and he was down. His knee was down as he extended there, so that will be not reviewed. He did not fumble the ball.
Yeah, he was just reaching out to try to get an extra couple of yards by extending the ball, and it came out when he hit the ground.
3rd and 5. The Raiders are playing, obviously, their backup defense with the exception of Quentin Grove still in. Skelton will burn a timeout here. Timeout Arizona.
Arizona, they're first.
They'll face a 3rd and 5 on the Raider 20 when we come back. 11 and a half to play in the second half. Arizona 7, the Raiders 6 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Ticketmaster is the official ticket exchange of the NFL. To buy or sell official Raiders tickets, visit NFL.com/ticket exchange. And you're going to want to get a lot of Raider tickets this year. 1-800-Raiders or Raiders.com to get your tickets. The New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees and that explosive offense will be in on August the 28th for a preseason game. There's John Skelton. Too much time. Will throw behind his intended target there. Good coverage there by Quentin Groves. Isaiah Williams was the wide receiver he tried to hit, and Skelton got some pressure from the backside there from Mason Brodine, a rookie free agent defensive lineman out of Nebraska Kearney, who was in for the Raiders. So that'll force a field goal attempt here for the Arizona Cardinals. It'll be a 38-yarder from the veteran Jay Feely, former Falcon and Giant, Dolphin, and Jet. Last time he was here, he had a 52-yarder late in regulation to force overtime. The game that Janikowski won with the 57-yarder in overtime. He makes the field goal. And the Arizona Cardinals, who had the kickoff to start the game, get the kickoff to start the second half, curiously. And they drive down the field and get a field goal from Feely. So number 3 scores 3. 11:20 to go in the third quarter. Cardinals 10, Raiders 6. This is the Raiders.
Welcome back to the O.Co Coliseum. The Raiders trail Arizona 10-6. This offseason was about the Raider Nation on location. Their team was a community outreach group that was all over the Bay Area. And let me tell you, from meeting the Raiderettes to going to fairs, the Raider Nation on location was everywhere. They attended events such as the Beta Breakers, the California State Fair, Alameda County Fair. And Greg, as you know, the Raiders are very active within the community, and the Raider Nation on location promotion was fantastic this offseason.
I actually saw him out at the Alameda County Fair in Pleasanton, JT. Good kickoff by Jay Feely. Sean Botiford's coming out from 5 yards deep. Tonga to block. 20. Fumbled the ball. It's free. I think the Raiders dove back out of that around the 28-yard line, but Sean Botiford had that ball away from his body, coach, and it got yanked out of there when he was trying to get through that seam.
Well, he was going at a pretty good pace and trying to make moves at the same time, and when you're doing that, that ball will get away from your body, and you don't have a lot of control. But he was motoring.
He recovered his own fumble, Jim.
Well, he was very excited. He almost tripped there, probably lost his balance a little bit. But you're right, he does carry it out somewhat. It was ripped away, but he does get it back for the Raiders.
Anthony Sherman was able to get in there and rip it out momentarily, but it was recovered by Botiford. And the Raiders keep the ball. And we welcome Trent Edwards to silver and black. Muscattus High School. Boy, he was a great high school player, and on to Stanford, where he had some great moments. We're going to have a false start called here on Richard Gordon, the round 6 rookie tight end from Miami.
False start. Offense number 82. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
We were talking earlier, Tom, how tight they played, and now the false starts are coming in droves here.
Well, Richard Gordon got caught up. He was ready to go, and the defense started moving around, and he reacted to the defense. And as soon as he moved his hand off the ground and was in violation, he knew it, and he just headed back for the huddle.
Trent Edwards, a round 3 pick to the Bills out of Stanford. Started his career very well. Beat the Raiders in 2008. A comeback win. Beat the Raiders by a point, 24-23. And then a couple of weeks later that year in 08, Jim, the Bills were off to a 4-0 start. They were playing at Arizona, University of Phoenix Stadium, and Adrian Wilson, the great safety, came on a a blitz. Nobody picked him up. Blindside hit, and Edwards concussed, and he's not been able to find his rhythm back in the NFL since.
And he's also had injury trouble over the years, both at Stanford and in the NFL. I talked to him at training camp, though. He's familiar with the offense. He says it's not that complicated for him, as he's seen it before.
Lewis Rankin now the featured back, 2nd and 14. Edwards, a good throwing arm, and it's caught by Bodiford, and that'll be a Raider first down. Out to the 39-yard line, Sean Bodiford, young wide receiver out of Portland State. Nice little outcut there, Tom, and he picks up a first down.
Yeah, and a nice throw. Nice throw by Edwards. Very well thrown over some linebackers. Bodiford stretches out for it, runs a nice route.
And I like the way Bodiford comes back for the football, just like you're supposed to do.
1st and 10 Raiders on their 39-yard line, down 10-6. 3-step drop, slant, ball deflected, right back to Edwards. He can run with it, and he does. The ball was deflected by Vonnie Holliday, the veteran defensive lineman. He saw the 3-step drop again, Jim Red slant, and the ball came right back to Edwards.
Yeah, that's a completion.
Edwards to Edwards.
He was alert. He was able to tuck it and pick up a few yards on that play.
You ever do that, Jim?
I have, yes.
Yeah, did you?
Unfortunately. But because I wound up getting thrown for a loss. But
Stanford guys are quick thinkers, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Derek Hagan has checked in, wearing number 6, prolific pass catcher at Arizona State when Andrew Walter was there. 3-step drop, blitz, a throw, and right through the hands of Denarius Moore. Moore should have caught that one on top of his helmet. Edwards got blasted. An unblocked defender came on a blitz. The veteran Matt Ware, former Philadelphia Eagle. And Edwards got that out, Coach, and that ball should have been caught for a first down.
Yeah, it should have been caught. I was surprised to see Edwards get it around with such accuracy, but that ball was thrown. It was a catchable ball. Should have been caught.
He's a tough guy, Jim. He's gotten hurt a lot, but he stands in there and delivers the football.
He does. I mean, he got that ball thrown right on the money under duress.
3rd and 5 Raiders on their own 44. Bodiford's going to come in motion, followed by Patrick Peterson. He runs over the middle. Nice pass there, first down. Bodiford beat Peterson inside the numbers, and a very well-placed football there by Trent Edwards.
Right between 2 linebackers. He checks the field out, and there goes the ball. Excellent throw.
Well, Bodiford actually was starting to settle down. Yeah, and if he had kept running, he would have been running. He would still be running.
1st and 10 Raiders into Arizona territory on the 46. Richard Gordon, the tight end. Edwards fumbled the snap from center, then he dives back on it as he lost the snap. We're going to snap it down to JT downstairs. JT?
Thank you, Greg. I'm with the Silver and Black Human Highlight Film. Jacoby Ford, what a year you had last year. Talk about how you build on your success from last season.
I think I just think about everything I did last year and go back and watch the film and then just try to, duplicate what I did and actually excel more than I did last year.
Greg?
Jacoby, how many times you watched the film of that Kansas City game?
Quite frankly, I watch it a lot.
If I was you, I'd watch it every day.
I mean,
the fourth
that
quarter.
was just one of those games, everything just kind of went my way.
Here's Edwards going deep, wide open.
Yes!
Chad Jackson down the 5-yard line. You're getting excited, Jacoby. It's okay.
My bad. Hey, I love to see my boys doing good out there. I love that.
That was Derek Hagan out of Arizona State, not Chad Jackson, who made the catch. Did you see this rowdy ran here, Jacoby?
Oh, I see it. They're getting rowdy out here now. That's what you love to see, is the Raider Nation rising up.
Stanford guy going to an Arizona State guy. This ran right by Patrick Peterson.
That was pinpoint on right there. Gotta love that Raider energy.
Derek Hagan on the catch. Handoff, Lewis Rankin. He had to stop in the hole for a second on the stretch handoff. Jacoby, we know you can run back kicks. There's no doubt about it. You had 3 electrifying kickoff returns for scores. As a wide receiver, how do you get better now in your second year?
Just practice. Working on my craft every day, in practice, after practice. Just doing those little things. Just to try to make myself get better.
All right, I have not said touchdown Raiders since January, Jacoby. So I gotta. You want to get into it with me here?
I'll get in there with you. If we
second and goal, Rankin off the left side. No touchdown Raiders.
I'm trying to get one in with you.
All right, you come in with me. You know how to score them. I can say them. You had 7 a year ago, 3 on kick returns, 2 on receiving. You also ran a couple in, so you can score in a wide variety of ways. Your off season consisted of what? How'd you stay in shape this year?
Worked out with a bunch of dudes, actually. I mean, fans not gonna like it, but definitely a bunch of Kansas City dudes, that I work out with back home. And, I just kind of ran routes against them. Just kind of make sure I had a quarterback too. So, that definitely kept me in shape a lot.
Here we go, 3rd and 3, bunch formation. They're gonna lob it for Moore. He goes up, and it's broken up by Richard Marshall, the veteran. They tried to hit the fade route, Jim, and Moore went up, and Marshall, the veteran, played that pretty well.
He certainly did. There was no way, unless it was a fantastic catch on the receiver's part, to come down with that football. But Marshall did a very good job.
We get a field goal.
Jacoby, you still down there?
Still here.
Denarius Moore, they are saying he is the new Ford. What do you see in this young rookie out of Tennessee?
I love him. He just makes plays every day. He's out there making a play, and it's just natural to him. He's got some great natural abilities that you love to see in a young guy like him. I mean, I'm still young myself, so I'm not too much ahead of him, but he's got a bright future here with the Raiders. He's definitely going to help us out a lot this year.
You're not a rookie anymore. You're a veteran. You can slip it in. Heel up. We'll see you opening night in Denver.
All right, can't wait to see you.
Thanks, Jacoby. Field goal by Janikowski brings the Raiders within 1 point. Nice drive by Trent Edwards. 10-9 Arizona. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Oakland Raiders in their first preseason game here of 2011. Lamar Houston and the defense played very well. Arizona's first-team offense did not score on the Raiders at all. They didn't score until late in the half. And the Raiders are back within 1 now at 10-9. If you're entertaining this season, we invite you to visit your local store to pick up New Amsterdam Gin and find out how to get discounted Raider tickets from New Amsterdam Gin. Alfonso Smith and A.J. Jefferson are back to return this kickoff. But Glenn Kakalak, he was in Raider camp a few years ago in 08 in a game in Nashville, Tennessee. He unleashed a 71-yard punt. Kicking off from the 35 this year. Line drive, Jefferson, 10, 15, 20, 30. Tackled from the backside by Zach Etheridge. Makes a good return there at 22 yards. So Arizona will have a good drive start across their 30. Lewis Rankin also win on special teams for John Faso. 6 minutes to play, 3rd quarter from the O.Co Coliseum, the home of the Raiders. Cardinals 10, Raiders 9 on the Raiders. This past July the 26th in Washington, D.C., former 2-time Super Bowl winning head coach Tom Flores received what is known as the Roberto Clemente Award for Sports Excellence. The Roberto Clemente Award is presented to a sports professional who has found ways to positively portray Hispanic Americans and bring awareness and solutions to issues that affect contemporary Hispanic America. Congratulations, Tom. Richard Bartell now in a quarterback, rolling and just throwing it away.
Yeah, that was
got a tuxedo on that.
I had a tuxedo, yeah. That was I had my same old tuxedo. My wife had to buy a new dress. That doesn't seem right, does it? I got the award.
Of course. That's a great honor to you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was quite an honor for me. I was very proud of that.
Roberto Clemente, one of the great names in the history of sport. That's a great honor. 2nd and 10, 5:55 to play, 3rd quarter. Raiders down 10-9. Richard Bartell, second-year quarterback, is in for Arizona after Cobb and Skelton. They're going to draw Ryan Williams, and they pulled his mouth guard out or something came out as he tried to spin out of it. So that's a great honor, Tom, but we want you to go to Canton, Ohio one day. There are 19 that are currently in the Hall of Fame and counting, but Tom, a 2-time Super Bowl winning head coach, certainly has the resume. Cliff Branch, a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Plunk, not only a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, but the MVP of the win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Lester the molester and the greatest punter in the history of pro football. So 25 we should have and counting. A lot more to go, and you guys will make it one day, we're sure. Bartell throws stop route there. DVD wanted a flag on the intended receiver, Isaiah Williams, as Van Dyke was going for the pick.
Yeah, Williams actually grabbed Van Dyke to keep him from going for the pick, looked like. That's what Van Dyke was complaining about.
Got a new haircut. All the rookies got a little hazing before they broke for Napa to come to this game. And that's a good-looking haircut on him, Jim.
He's got the part on the wrong side.
How long do you have to leave it on that?
Until it grows out.
I want to see Denarius Moore here return a punt. He is fast as well. Moore going to creep up, let it bounce, big hop in the air. Here he goes. 22, breaks a tackle. 30, 35, 40, midfield. A flag is down, but Moore is not. Moore is out of bounds now inside the 10-yard line. I don't care if it's coming back, Tom. That was exciting.
That was exciting. He can turn it on. Boy, does he have an afterburner. Wow.
Strong, too. Took the big hop, Jim, and then he showed some strength to get through it.
He showed some strength, some moves. He ran away from people, through people.
During the return.
Great effort.
Illegal block in the back. Number 88 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
They call it on Kevin Brock, and that'll negate a 68-yard punt return. But you see a glimpse of what we're all seeing, not just as a smooth route runner, but this guy ran a 4.37 and is a pro day.
Wow, he showed it there, man.
He certainly got good instincts, is what I was very impressed with.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he just looks. He looks a little bit more mature than the average rookie would look.
Very, very smooth. So he excites. The Raiders do have a penalty. And they'll start on the 25-yard line with 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Trent Edwards going to roll out. He has Rankin right flat. Well-delivered ball. Rankin can run after he catches it. Edwards is so accurate, Jim, when he has a good pocket. He rolled out. The key there was to hit Rankin where he could catch and run.
Yeah, he does. I think he's had a couple of years over 70% completions. When he was at Stanford, he's just a very accurate thrower. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to be protected a little bit better than he has been over his first 5 years in the NFL. But he's extremely fine quarterback.
He hit 78% of his throws at Los Gatos High. Tremendous percentage for a high school kid.
No kidding.
A little bit of a busted play there, and they give it to Lewis Rankin. Terry McFadden not able to go tonight. We visited with Darren. He'll be good to go opening night with that fractured left orbital bone. We saw Michael Bush earlier, and Rock Cartwright, Tywan Jones, Raider draftee, also nursing a hamstring. He won't play tonight. We may see Michael Bennett later on, but we get a nice look here at Lewis Rankin. Whenever we see this guy, Tom, in August, he looks great.
Yeah, he's had good training camps, good preseason games. He's a good, solid running back, but the Raiders have a pretty good array of running backs.
Play action to Rankin. Edwards throws, and a little bit off the fingertips there of Chad Jackson. It's incomplete. Jackson, a very high draft pick to the New England Patriots a few years ago. Bill Belichick actually traded up to get him off the Florida campus, and the Raiders were able to pick him up just recently in camp.
I tell you, the running back situation, the receiver situation for these Raiders is outstanding. A lot of depth, a lot of speed, a lot of quality.
3rd down and 9 for Trent Edwards on the Raider 39-yard line. Out of a shotgun, looks right, comes back left screen to Rankin. Cuts back inside, will not get the first down. He goes down to the 45-yard line, and that'll bring on a Landon Pakalak punt. Rankin has played in the NFL in regular season games for the Raiders as a kick returner, and a couple of years ago he also played with Seattle. So here's Pakalak, very strong leg. We noted that he had a 71-yarder when he was a Raider in a preseason game in Nashville, Tennessee back in 08. And it was not one of those that went 40 and rolled 31 yards. It was 71 in the air. Strong leg, and he hits it right. Got a little pressure, fluttering ball here. Andre Roberts. And he was turned inside. He fumbled the ball, and the Raiders have it. Kevin Brock, who negated the Moore. No, Arizona's got it back, they're saying. Is that right? Let's take a look at that. Kevin Brock was able to get in there and help knock it out. And they are going to give it back to Arizona. Let's see how this play ends. Watch Brock punch this ball out right. Well, it was not Brock who got it. It was Georgiou. Bonnie Georgiou. That's a fumble, guys. Why are they not giving the ball to the Raiders? They'll review this. The Raiders recovered the fumble. Kondo got it. Bonnie Georgiou knocked it out. His knee. It's out first, right? challenge flag is on the field.
It looks like that. It looks on the first look on the replay like it was coming out on the way down before his knee hit the ground.
Did they throw the flag? They're going to throw it. He's not thrown it yet.
Holding. Number 45 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Challenge flag comes out. Arizona also held on the play, but that's not the real issue here. Let's take a few more looks, Jim. Does the ball come out before his knee touches clearly?
I can't see from that angle.
Yes.
It's popping out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming out. His knees were actually
This
it looked like they were held up by one of the defenders.
View.
Oakland has challenged a ruling on the field, but the runner was down by contact.
Yeah.
It's out right there.
Certainly is.
Yeah. That'll be a fumble. The Raiders will recover. Bonnie Jaju was able to pull that out. Young rookie free agent linebacker from Penn State. And it was John Kondo, that long snapper. He's such a great long snapper, but he also is very quick to get down on the punt coverage team, and he was able to recover that. So Ron Winter, the veteran official, he's been around as a league official for now 17 years and a referee for 14 years, will go under the hood. We'd like to go in there with him, but they're not going to let us. He gets to vote in privacy.
JT's down there. Maybe he could sidle up next to him and see what he thinks.
So the Raiders, I think, are preparing to go on offense here. They're going to get the ball if this stands, and you would think it would, in a great position. Of course, the hold won't be applied here. The Raiders will decline that and take the football. Where, about the 20-yard line?
Around the 20-yard line, yeah. Yeah, John Condon doesn't get enough credit for being on that when he punts, when they're on the punt team. I mean, he's always one of the first guys down there making plays. I mean, he's quite an athlete.
And he was a Pro Bowler a couple of years ago as a long snapper. George Atkinson, what do you got for us field level?
I got Tommy Kelly with me down here, Greg. And Tommy, this year's defense seems to be a little more active than last year. Talk about the difference between the defense this year and last year.
Well, we finished kind of strong last year, so, we didn't want to build out that. And coach was really stressing, building a bully, just putting our presence on everybody. Every time we step out on the field.
Greg?
Hey, Tommy, you've had some good years as a Raider, but I thought you had your best season in the NFL last year. Looking back on it, watching the film, was that the best we've seen of you so far?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to build on it. I don't want that to be my only year. I just want to keep going to take my game to the next level.
What are the guys saying on the sideline? You guys have the ball here inside the 20?
It looked like it was out.
I would expect it to be. We're going to take another look here as Bonnie Jaju will get in and rip it out. Also help from linebacker Chris Francis, but it appears to be out. Tommy, thanks for your time, man. Here's Ron Winter, our referee. Raider ball, Ron?
After review, the ball was fumbled. Oakland clearly recovered the ball on the 18-yard line. Therefore, it is Oakland's ball, 1st and 10. Oakland is not charged with a team timeout. Please reset the game clock to 2:55. The holding penalty is declined. Result of the play is first down, Oakland.
Chris Francis, rookie free agent linebacker out of Baylor, was there along with Bonnie Jaju, and it was John Kondo that recovered. So a big play on special teams. And now the Raiders will try to get in the end zone. They've been down here before, Jim, inside the red zone. They've had to settle for 3 Janikowski field goals. Raiders they like field goals, but they like touchdowns way more.
Now's a perfect time for a play-action pass, but that's just my thinking.
You're right. You Stanford guys. Edwards, end zone. It is caught! Touchdown, Raiders! David Osbury! What a throw by Edwards right over the top, and Osbury, the converted USC wide receiver to tight end Tom, ran a great route, and he got both toes in bounds. What a play.
He did a marvelous job at catching the ball, concentrated, and then put his toes inside the end line for the touchdown. A beautiful throw, outstanding catch, and body control just to make sure you're in bounds.
1, drag, 2.
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Perfectly executed.
And he did not have the clenched fist salute. They're going to challenge here and take a look at it. Now the extra point will be coming here. Arizona may want to look at that just to make sure, but he got in. He did not have the clenched fist salute. His cousin is the great Tommy Smith from 1968 Olympic fame.
The new rule, Greg, the new rule is that they have to look at every...
Yes, because it's a scoring play.
Every scoring play.
Oakland. They're first. A 30-second timeout.
Yeah, the officials, one of the new rules in the NFL, all scoring plays have to be reviewed, whether Whisenhead calls for it or not. So this will be reviewed by Ron Winter. The Raiders have called timeout because what they're going to do now, I would think, is go for 2. It's a 15-10 game. To go for 2 to go up 17-10. So I think they will do that, but I think it's pretty clear. That's the right foot's down. He's dragging the left toes. He's in.
He dragged that foot earlier. He knew what he was doing.
That was
the get-go.
That was not as close as it looked from here.
I guess they reviewed it. You have to review all scoring plays on a play like that. I guess they reviewed it and it's in. So they are going to go for 2 here. Edwards under center. Lewis Rankin the lone back. Bodiford in motion. Looks right. Pressure. And he's going to get sacked. Had nowhere to go that time as he was run down by the safety who came in there, Hamza Abdullah, who yesterday was dining at the White House with the president, celebrating the end of Ramadan. He and his brother were invited. He had a busy day. Flew to Washington Wednesday, ate at the White House in a big dinner, and then came back to Oakland actually today. So he gets the sack on Trent Edwards. What a great throw by Trent Edwards and a very interesting catch there by an interesting player. That is David Osbury, who was a Raider draft pick this year, a round 7 pick, 4 years at the University of Southern California, Jim, where he played some wide receiver. He was switched from wide receiver to tight end before his senior year, and he's an interesting athlete. The Raiders are going to play tight end. Yeah, they really like him. They like his athletic ability. They like his ability to block, actually. And, he came up actually at training camp and introduced himself to me. And I'd heard that he was related to Tommy Smith. And I knew Tommy Smith both in college, and I saw Tommy Smith a couple of years ago when he was being honored at a function. A great lineage there. Oh, yeah. Tommy Smith and John Carlos from the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. Well, Lee Evans I played against in high school. Not Lee Evans, the Buffalo Bills wide receiver. No, the Lee Evans, the Olympic sprinter. Here's A.J. Jefferson breaking 1 tackle and then stubbornly going out across the 25-yard line. David Osbury, the touchdown maker, in on the tackle on special teams. And the reason why I threw in Lee Evans, because Lee Evans, Tommy Smith, John Carlos were all running to San Jose State. Yeah. At the time I was in college. I was referring to Lee Evans of the Buffalo Bills, who was rumored to be traded by Buddy Nix, the Bills GM in Arizona, maybe in play to get him. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Raiders have the lead back at 15-10. 3 Janikowski field goals, a touchdown by Osbury, and a failed 2-point attempt. Here's a wide run by Alphonso Smith, rookie running back out of Kentucky, and a flag came in afterwards. Yeah, the late hit out of bounds, dragging him down. Way out of bounds by Sam Williams, I believe. He'll tack on 15 yards to Smith's run. Shouldn't happen to a veteran. Here's Ron Winter again. What do you got, Ron?
Dead ball, personal foul, number 54 defense, 15-yard penalty, and a 1st down.
Sam Williams is a veteran. He's been around the Raiders for a long, long time now out of Clayton Valley High School and Fresno State, preparing, hoping to make the team for a 9th year. Good special teams player. 1st and 10 for Arizona on their 48-yard line. Arizona in their traveling white with the red piping around the shoulder down the pant leg, and the Raiders back to Oakland, the O.co Coliseum. We're in their black jerseys. Play action. Richard Bartell at quarterback. A lot of time, too much time. Deep ball, and it is caught inside the Raider 15-yard line. Jerome Boyd gives up the deep one down the field there. That is DeMarco Sampson with a 38-yard catch. Sampson has had a very strong training camp up at Flagstaff, around 7 pick out of San Diego State, and he's got some size as well, Tom, at 6'2".
Yeah, he did a nice corner route. The ball was thrown up high, and he had good body position, and he kept that position on Jerome Boyd all the way.
Led by Larry Fitzgerald. This is almost a San Diego Charger type wide receiving corps with all the size they have. 1st and 10 at Cardinals on the Raider 11. Handoff Alfonso Smith inside the 10, and then Sam Williams and others push him back. That is an angry Tommy Hill, first-year defensive lineman out of Colorado State, who made the hit along with Sam Williams. As we count you down to the end of the 3rd quarter. Raiders led 6-0 when the starters were in the game. Arizona scored late with the subs in to end the half to go up 7-6, then 10-6, and now the Raiders on the Osbury touchdown catch take the lead back at 15-10. 2nd down and 7 from the Raider 8. Bartell looking right, now middle, now throws middle through the hands and incomplete. He had a receiver inside the 5-yard line. It was Alfonso Smith, the back out of the backfield, and right through his hands. Could have had that one at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, when that ball goes up in the air like that, everybody holds their breath, because that's the kind of balls that are intercepted.
So on 3rd and 7 from the 8. DeMarco Sampson is in, Isaiah Williams, Chancey Stuckey, 3 wide receivers, along with a very fast tight end, and Rob Hausler. Bartell throws, caught, goal line, touchdown Arizona. It is Rob Hausler, the guy I was talking about. He is a tight end who ran a 4.46 at the combine, a round 3 pick out of Florida Atlantic. He found a spot, settled down, Tom, and he gives the Cardinals the lead back.
Well, they just flooded the area and ran that little bunch formation, and then they all went down in their areas. He just hooked up at about the 2-yard line, and the coverage was very loose. It was a zone coverage, so he had plenty of room to maneuver.
He's 250 pounds, and he ran a 4.46 at tight end. Athletes are getting incredibly fast. Feely makes the point after, and the Cardinals have the lead back with 44 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Arizona goes up 17-15. It's been a hard couple of months for the Raider family, as they've lost a couple of more that have been such great contributors. Jack Tatum we lost last year, George Blanda, Tom, throughout the offseason, and the great Skip Thomas. We lost Dr. Albo, Robert Albo, the Raiders team doctor for many years, and Bubba Smith, one of the great college defensive players of all time at Michigan State, a Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Colts, was traded for Raymond Chester. Tom, we lost him just a week ago.
Yeah, they just,
at age 66.
They just had the ceremonies for this memorial today somewhere in Los Angeles. But yeah, Bubba was quite a guy. He's a great player until his knee forced him to retire a little early, and then he became a movie star.
He did.
Yeah,
Police Academy films. Hey, George, Jack Tatum last year, and now you lose Bubba you played with, and also the other member of the Soul Patrol, Skip Thomas.
Yeah, you know, great losses, man. When you talk about guys like Bubba Smith, I grew up with him, basically. We knew each other in high school, practically, and you know, I've been knowing Bubba Smith for a lot of years. Today was his memorial. I couldn't get there, but great loss, man, that it's just hard. It chokes me up when I think about it, because these are guys who were guys I played ball with, and I knew not only as football players but as persons, and people that I talked to quite a bit when I need to talk to someone, and you know, there are losses that I'll be with me for a long time.
Thank you, George. Ron Winter threw a flag.
Illegal wedge block on the return. After this is to the goal. First down.
Yeah, Ron Winter threw that flag himself. The referee, what he is calling is that you cannot have a 3-man wedge. You are allowed, and this dates back to even last year, Tom, where you could have a 2-man wedge. Before anybody got blocked or anything, he threw a flag because he saw 3 Raiders too close to each other.
Yeah, he's the only guy, really the only official on the field that can actually see that. up close because it's happening right in front of him. He's the one that's behind the ball receiver.
But I don't understand. People are running together, and even if it's not designed and they just happen to be running alongside each other, how do you determine whether it's intentional?
I agree.
Michael Bennett now is in at running back, Jim, with 36 seconds to go in the third quarter. Raiders trailing Arizona 17-15. Botiford goes in long motion. And a handoff from Edwards to Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett, a Pro Bowl player with the Vikings, able to skirt a couple of tackles and pick up about 9. Michael Bennett, a very good special teams player with the Raiders. And we want you to be a part of the Raider Nation this year. After a great year last year, winning all 6 in the AFC West, the Raiders want to win the division outright. 1-800-RAIDERS, Raiders.com. Raiders have a tremendous schedule. Of course, the AFC West usuals with the AFC East. Jets and Patriots coming in, and also the NFC North. The Bears will be here as well. We'll start the fourth quarter with the Raiders facing a 2nd and 1 and down 17-15. We're back to football, back to the Coliseum on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Fourth quarter's underway. 2nd and 1 handoff to Michael Bennett. He did not need much, but he certainly did not get much. We'll see if he got it or not. It's the start of the fourth quarter. Only 15 minutes left in this game. You want an easy way to save money? I've got an easy answer. You could save hundreds by calling 1-800-947-AUTO or go to geico.com. He actually lost a yard there. So it's 3rd down and 2 Raiders. They are down 2 points, 17-15. Tonga, the fullback, offset right ahead of Michael Bennett. Handoff up the middle, 1st down Bennett. Into the secondary and more. All the way out to the 29-yard line. 1st down Raiders. Showing some power. Bennett, as a younger man, Jim, was known for his speed, but he's turning those legs at 205 pounds to pick up the hard yards.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's not a young man anymore as far as running backs go, but he's certainly been impressive both last year and right now.
He was a Pro Bowler his 2nd year in the league in Minnesota, ran for almost 1,300 yards. Nice little side move there to avoid the would-be tackler. Coach in the backfield comes straight ahead for 5 more.
Well, he has a good feel for running with the ball. In other words, he knows when to accelerate and when to decelerate. That time, there wasn't a clean hole for him, so he just bided his time until the hole opened up a little bit more and slid to the left a little bit and then took the rest of the yardage.
He's a veteran, 6 year in Minnesota, a year and a half in Kansas City, a year in Tampa, a year plus in San Diego, and now preparing for his 2nd with the Raiders. 2nd down and 6, Raiders on their 32. Trent Edwards, straight drop, looks left, throws. And the route by Jackson was too much down the field. Edwards was expecting him to break it off more to the sideline and missed by several yards.
Edwards was also getting ready to get walloped pretty good, so he had to hurry his throw.
Yeah, I think he had anticipated where he might have to put the ball, and obviously under the pressure, just didn't get it to the right spot.
Let's see him get hit here. 3rd down and 2 coming up for Trent Edwards and the Raiders. They got a lot of guys in the backfield here. Too many. Botiford lined up like they were in a pistol. And then he went into motion now slot left. Backs to each side of Edwards on 3rd down. Pressured. Avoids it, but not the next hit, and he gets buried. Back on the 26-yard line. He got picked up and planted. And the Raiders will punt the football away. Brandon Sharp, rookie linebacker out of Texas Tech, on the sack of Edwards.
At that time, they got to him with only a 4-man rush. Should have had a little bit better protection, 5-on-4 blocking, but this wasn't the case.
Marche Green, a rookie out of Ole Miss, a defensive back. He was a very impressive kick and punt returner at Ole Miss in college. Took back 3 punts for touchdowns in his college career. Pakalak, the left-footed punter, end over end. And room to go, 40. Down the sideline, Francis will knock him out. A flag comes down back at the 36-yard line. Reggie Walker may have had the block in the back, which will negate the 44-yard punt, 25-yard return part by Marche Green.
Early in the game, we saw very few penalties.
Return. Illegal block in the back. Number 56 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And with all these younger players, you're seeing a lot more penalties, obviously, especially in the kicking game.
Yeah, with the veterans, they were pretty more disciplined. The young kids are all over the place.
12.5 to play. Arizona 17, Raiders 15. And the Raiders broadcast Tom Flores and Jim Plunkett up in the booth. George Atkinson and JT the Brick on the field level. 12:37 to play in this first preseason game. Arizona on top of the Raiders 17-15. Richard Bartell, third string quarterback for the Cardinals after Cobb and Skelton will start this drive from their 31-yard line. Play action. Bartell plenty of time, throw, and that is caught for a first down by Isaiah Williams as we head downstairs to JT.
Thank you, Greg. I'm with quarterback Jason Campbell. You already had young receivers last year when you came in, and they're loading up again. You got to love all these weapons.
Yeah, I love them. I just enjoy their work ethic. The way the guys come out, compete every day in practice, and it's the same out here tonight. Things we like to eliminate is a lot of the penalties, but other than that, our younger guys and younger receivers are stepping up, making plays, and you saw Osbury, who came in here playing as USC as a receiver, and it's his first time playing tight end. I just thought it was an outstanding catch.
Greg, back to you.
Alfonso Smith with a nice run out to midfield. Hey, Jace, Greg Papa up in the booth. You flew to Virginia, Jacoby and Lewis and DHB, and you guys worked out for a couple of weeks at your home, huh?
Yes, sir. It ate me out of the house and a home. But
did they?
Yeah, but we had the opportunity. We had a chance to get great bonding with your teammates and get to learn a little bit more about each other than just football. And you want to build that relationship where you become friends for life, not just for the game and not just for now, but also to work on the chemistry, and so we can hit the ground running. You're not having OTAs and all those type of things, but we're veteran guys, and we know how to put in work together.
Alfonso Smith on the 2nd and 2 runs for a first down to the Raider 43-yard line. You have a new offensive coordinator. Seems like you have one every one in your career, but the new one is an old one. You know Al Saunders from your Washington days. How is he going to help you this year?
Yeah, I have a great relationship with Coach Saunders. Back when I was in Washington, I had him for a year and a half, basically. And, we was kind of building some real good chemistry before he had left for Washington. But I was glad to have him here. Him and Coach Jackson working together, and both of them come from the same type of system. So not a lot of things are changing. We're definitely adding a lot, but there's some similarities to some of the things we did a season ago.
Timeout on the field, which will give us a chance to visit with the Raider quarterback Jason Campbell. So having Hugh Jackson as your offensive coordinator now, how has it changed that he's no longer your OC, he's your HC, he's the head coach?
He haven't changed too much. He's still pumped. He's still bringing that energy every day in practice. He's making guys compete at a high level, and that's what it's all about. We want to do everything we can to bring back the Raider tradition and the Raider pride, and it all starts in practice and how you conduct yourself and the things that we do. And
Arizona.
we know coming into this first preseason game, just 9 practices, we just want to come out and try to execute to the best of our abilities. Is it all going to be crisp the way we want it? Not yet. That's what the preseason's for. But at the same time, I love his energy that he brings to the community and to the team.
Yeah, good guy. Lives right in downtown Oakland at Jack London Square. He's been saying the time is now. The time is now. And I think for you, that really hits home. I mean, you're 29 years of age. You've been in this league now for 7 years. Do you feel like the time is now to really make a push and become one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL?
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. I'm gonna push myself each and every day in practice to get to that level. And at the same time, it's my 2nd year here with the guys I'm playing with. Last year coming over from Washington, I kind of hit my strides during the mid part of the season, but early part of the season, I was still trying to learn everyone and trying to get acclimated to the system and to the community. But now after being here for a year, I feel like my feet is up under me. I feel comfortable with everything, and I'm just ready to just play football and just go out and just have a lot of fun. That's the only thing on my mind this year is having fun and winning games.
Sweep the AFC West this year and maybe get another 6, and I think you'll be on your way. Chase, thanks for your time, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Jason Campbell, the Raiders returning starting quarterback. Solid guy in every way. Flying his wide receivers down to his home in Virginia, Jim, and trying to get on a page with these young wide receivers.
Oh, that's what you have to do. Because of the lockout, things were a little bit different this offseason, and it behooves the players to get together when they can and practice together and get to know each other, and it makes for a better team unity. There's no doubt about that.
He's a good leader. 2nd and 4. Bartell going to roll and throw. A flag is down, and the catch inside the Raider 30-yard line is that fast tight end again, Rob Hausler. A flag was down shortly after the snap of the football. Raiders may have been offsides, which Arizona will decline, and they will take a first down time with 10 minutes to play in the game.
Yeah, a little play there. There's not much of a pass rush right now with just a 4-man rush with the defensive lineman that the Raiders have in right now.
Defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play. The first down.
Yeah, so Arizona's getting plenty of time to look down the field. That time was a little half a bootleg with a half rollout by the tight end, by the quarterback, and he had more than an ample time.
There's Chuck Bresnahan. He is back as the Raider defensive coordinator, working with Mike Waffle just like the good old days. Chuck was the Raider defensive coordinator from 2000 through 2003, and they won 3 straight AFC Wests. Were a bad call away from a New England game from going to the AFC title game 3 years in a row. Flag again. It seems like we're having one every snap now.
6 men on the line. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
It's going to be a little bit raggedy, Coach, to begin the year, huh? Without having the normal off season.
Well, the first game is the fourth quarter of the first game is usually a little raggedy anyway, because that's when you have all the other guys playing. By others, I mean all the young free agent rookies and the rookies. Your third string guys or more, and this year there's even more because there's 90 guys on the squad.
First and 15 Arizona. Bartell, and that's broken up nicely there by Sterling Moore. Young guy from the Bay Area, went to Deer Valley High School in Antioch, also Laney College before transferring, same school that produced Taiwan Jones. Nice play here to play it on the ball and swat it away.
Everything did with the right proper hand too.
A great break on the ball. Nice defender. Defense.
Second and 15 from the 33.
So Deer Valley High School in Antioch, well represented. Went to Southern Methodist after transferring from Laney College. You're not going to see Taiwan Jones tonight. He has a bit of a handy. Maybe you'll see him next weekend in San Francisco when the Raiders play the Niners. You're going to like him. He is fast. There's a blitz, and Sterling Moore has a sack. Nobody saw him from the blind side. He comes in unblocked.
You know, I was wondering when they were going to come with a blitz of some sort. And that time Sterling Moore comes on the blind side. Quarterback doesn't have a chance whatsoever. But they had to do something to stop that drive of the Cardinals that time. And they changed it up a little bit enough to get that big sack.
Chuck Bresnahan dialing up the corner blitz from Sterling Moore. 3rd and 22 Arizona. 8:48 and rolling to play in the game. Raiders down 17-15. Bartell out of the shotgun, a blitzing Sam Williams, a bounce incomplete. He went to Isaiah Williams, but the Raiders dialing up a linebacker blitz there. Sam Williams came, and Bartell threw a ground ball. And the Raiders will get the football back. It is only a preseason game time, but you know better than the rest of us, the Raiders like to win whenever they play. And they got a field goal away from winning this football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, you know, there's 8.5 minutes to go, so there's ample time to do some damage. They just have to make sure they don't shoot themselves in the foot with any kind of foolish penalties.
Denarius Moore had an impressive punt return back in the 3rd quarter. Here is Ben Graham, the Thunder from down under, Aussie rules football style. And Moore did not call for a fair catch, curiously, at his 5-yard line. He took it and darted out of there. Nicely done by Moore.
It's good to be young, you know. Take
young
those
and
chances.
frisky.
I think he's been talking to Nick Miller.
That's right. 8.5 to play. Raiders down 2 on the Raiders broadcast. The Raiders are back, and that means football's fabulous females are back. And attention, dance instructors and directors, register your students now to take part in the halftime performance at the Silver and Black's 2011 regular season home opener. You can find out more information if you visit Raiders.com. 1st and 10 Raiders here, down 2 with 8.5 to play in the game. Trent Edwards to Michael Bennett, and Bennett picks up 2 or 3.
Number 32,
Raiders will go back to Napa, and they're going to have tomorrow off, and they're back on the practice field starting on Saturday, Tom. What's your opinion in the dramatic changing in the way they are running training camps with the new collective bargaining agreement only being allowed to have one daily practice? No longer can you have double days.
Well, I don't particularly like it myself, but we can talk about that forever. But that's the way it's going to be for 10 years.
At least through the CBA.
Yeah, I just think it's too much. It's not enough. Why can't you have 2 days early in the week? There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're not out there 3 hours each time and hitting all the time. But you've got to have the repetitions, and you got to get your body disciplined and tough and endurance to be able to handle the endurance that's necessary. Can't do it by just walking around.
3rd down and 6. Trent Edwards goes in the shotgun, a slot formation to the left. There's Bodiford and Hagan, and Jackson goes right. Quick one over the middle, and a catch made there by Kevin Brock. Nice throw by Trent Edwards, Jim, as he fitted that one in beautifully to Brock.
He certainly did. He read the defense correctly, went to the man that was running up the seam. It came with a blitz, and he was able to get rid of it quickly and on target.
Right off the line, you could see Brock turn inside and look for the ball.
Right.
Yeah, that's great communication between Brock and the quarterback, because that's where the linebacker came from, and that's where the void was in the defensive pass coverage.
Brock, an impressive-looking guy. Dallas Cowboys had him last training camp. Big guy, tight end. Raiders have some good tight ends, Boston, Myers, and Brock, and the 2 young guys, Gordon and Osbury. Edwards can run a while. Vilvirta was right. Pick up a 1st down and then glide out of bounds. Beautifully done by Trent Edwards. 6:26 to play in the game, and he's trying to lead the Raiders on a game-winning field goal or touchdown drive.
Just Trent Edwards, Kyle Bowler, battling for that number 2 spot behind Jason Campbell, and they all want to go out there and impress. And whatever it takes to do that, that's what you've got to wind up doing.
Showed a little speed there, Trent Edwards.
All Stanford quarterbacks can run.
I was just thinking that. Andrew Luck, Jim Plunkett, Trent Edwards. 1st and 10. There's a toss play to Michael Bennett. And Bennett picks up 2 out to around the 43-yard line. Glenn Pakalak handled the kickoffs in the second half, but Janikowski is going to handle all the placements. So if this does come down to a field goal to win the game, it will be Sebastian who will try it. He should have been a Pro Bowler last year. He's had some good years in the NFL, but last year was by far his best season, a Raider franchise record with 142 points. Made some long field goals, 29 touchbacks on the year. What a year. Play action. Edwards going to roll to his right. Looks downfield, rolling, throwing. Catch. Brock, the big tight end. Should have a Raider 1st down to the Cardinal 49-yard line. Edwards is good, Jim, when he gets outside of the pocket.
I thought he showed good patience. He was looking down the field for the longer pass, the intermediate pass. Nothing came into his view, but he found Brock underneath for a 1st down and keep the ball rolling. But good patience on Trent Edwards' part that time.
And he just got here. Last weekend he was barely on the practice field. He's played well, 9 of 13 for 132 yards tonight, all in the second half. Bennett up the middle, inside the Cardinal 45, and he pushes down to around the 43-yard line.
But as I mentioned before, Pop, he was familiar with the offense, the terminology. Before he came here, he had a couple of years of that system in Buffalo, so it was not really time-consuming to learn the offense here in Oakland.
And he's a smart guy, obviously, after going to Stanford. 4:15 to play. Raiders trying to win the game here late, down 17-15. Arizona showing maybe a safety blitz. Here they come. They give it to Bennett off the left side. Michael Bennett inside the 40. Michael Bennett get a push. He pushes that pile very close to a Raider 1st down. Boy, he is really moving some bodies here.
Yeah, it's nice. They're moving the chains. Don't do anything foolish. No penalties. Keep the chains moving. You got almost a little under 4 minutes to go. Just run it down and then kick a field goal, win the game, and we'll all go home.
Yeah, a couple of things you
want. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and a couple of things you want to do. You want to eat up the clock so they get the ball back and an opportunity to score.
Right.
But he also, need to get the points to win the ball game.
Michael Bennett will take a play off. They bring in Lewis Rankin. 1st and 10 Raiders on the 39. Rankin off the left side, cuts middle, 35, breaks a tackle. Flag came down. The umpire threw it. This will likely be a hold on the Raiders. The Janikowski are already nearly in field goal range, although off the dirt it's going to be a long one, and now they're going to be pushed back with a holding violation, presumably. Here's Ron Winter.
Holding. Defense.
No, it's on the defense.
Number 69.
There we go.
5-yard penalty on a first down.
Better yet.
Jeremy Rivera, the backup defensive tackle from Maryland, is called for the defensive hold, and now the Raiders are in field goal range. Big swing there of 15 yards. Now the Raiders have a 1st down and 10 on the Arizona 27-yard line. 3.5 to play in the game. Rankin stays in. They send Derek Hagan out wide right. Chad Jackson goes wide to the left. Edwards under center. And a pre-snap penalty again. Delay game on the Raiders.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
It'll be 1st and 15 now, back on the 32-yard line. Right now it'd be a 50-yard field goal, and on the dirt that's a ways to go. So obviously they want to get a lot closer. And knowing Hugh Jackson, Tom, he wants the end zone.
Yeah, he wants the end zone. That time that was just that delay had to be on the quarterback, because he just took way too much time to get those guys shifted around.
Osbury, the tight end, flips motion. He's now strong right. Toss play. Rankin fumbled the ball. It's free. It is free on the 40-yard line. Did the Raiders get it back? I think the Raiders got it back. Lewis Rankin had that ball delivered by Trent Edwards right in the hands. He may have taken his eye off the ball to catch it, and he fumbled, but he did recover it back. It's right there. He just didn't look for it.
Yeah, he's right about eye level.
He got it back, though, to save the possession. And now Michael Bennett comes back in. Rankin is taken off the field. So a false start, a drop pitch, and the Raiders are back on the 39-yard line now. 2nd and 22. Run some vertical screen. Lap ball deflected in the interior line by Ronald Talley, defensive lineman from Delaware. Now it's getting dicey, boys. It's 3rd and 22.
No, it's getting dicey. You're right. They had the screen set up there pretty nice. Had they been able to complete the screen, there was a lot of room. There's a lot of room for Bennett down the sideline with about 2 or 3 blockers ahead of him.
3rd down and 22. Are you thinking 1st down here, Jim, or just field goal range?
I think you're talking about 10 to 15-yard pickup.
Edwards, they blitz. Edwards backpedaling, throws the ball in the ground. Michael Bennett was there. Now the flag came in way late. A flag came in way late. It's against the Raiders, though.
It's a holding penalty, yeah.
They'll decline that, right? Go 4th and 22.
Offense number 88. That penalty's declined. It's the 4th down.
Raiders do have 2 timeouts left. You do have the 2-minute warning coming up. Do you punt here, or do you? It's 4th and 22. Is a long way.
Plus, excuse me. You might go for it, depending on what you feel like doing. But back-to-back screens on long yardage situations, it's kind of difficult sometimes to pick up that kind of yardage.
They're going for a field goal. Whoa, this would be a long one on the dirt. This would be 58 yards, 57 yards. They're going for a field goal here. So Sebastian Janikowski made a 57-yard in overtime going towards these north uprights to beat the Jets. Now this is in the dirt baseball infield right where Cliff Pennington plays shortstop. Kondo will snap, Lechler will hold, Janikowski lets it fly! He made it again! Off the dirt! Janikowski from 57!
Oh, how good is that? I'll tell you that the layoff didn't hurt Jono at all.
And I tell you what, and are we surprised? I don't think so.
No. Off the dirt, though. That's a long way. Janikowski gives the Raiders a 1-point lead on a 57-yard field goal off the dirt infield. 18-17 Raiders, 2.5 to go on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, the guy has made a 61-yarder in his career, a 59-yarder, a 57-yarder in overtime time. But off the dirt infield, this is really impressive to nail this 57-yarder.
Well, he has to adjust his, he takes fewer steps, a shorter approach, and he punches the ball because of the infield dirt.
Here's the kickoff by Pakalak. A.J. Jefferson, 20-30. Dropped on the 31-yard line with 2:26 to play in the football game. And the Janikowski field goal there gives the Raiders a 1-point lead. We have a tendency, Jim, to take Janikowski for granted, but my, oh my, is he special. 2:26 to go. Jano, 4 field goal night, and the Raiders lead by 1 on the Raiders broadcast. Welcome back to Oakland, the O.Co Coliseum. Young fans are enjoying this young football team. Raiders up 18-17, trying to close it out here. Week 1 of the preseason. Speaking of young players, DVD has come back into the game. We've not seen him since the first half, but DeMarcus Van Dyke is in to play as a Raider corner here. Well, the Raider offense and special teams gives them the lead, and now the defense will try to bring it home. 1st and 10, Arizona on their 32-yard line. They have brought in Max Hall now to play quarterback, and that's a catch by Isaiah Williams. He kind of bobbled it, but he reeled it in before it hit the ground. Max Hall is Ken Wisenhunt's 4th quarterback tonight behind Kevin Cobb, John Skelton, Richard Bartell. Max Hall, the 2nd-year QB from BYU, is in. 1 timeout remaining. 2-minute warning approaching. They'll snap it before 1st and 10. Hall looks left, throws left, catch. And up tackle is missed. And DVD will pull down the receiver, Chancey Stuckey, but inside the Raider 40-yard line as we hit the 2-minute warning. We have reached the Pennzoil 2-minute warning. Pennzoil, not just oil, Pennzoil. Raiders trying to hold on now. 1:54 to play. Raiders 18, Cardinals 17 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
The Raiders Broadcasting Network. What a kick. We're under the 2-minute warning, a 57-yard field goal. Sebastian, take us through the kick.
I was getting ready on the sideline, kicking into the net, and I'll talk to Hugh, and I know he's going to give me a long try.
Greg, you've seen it before. You've called all the big ones. Here's another one.
Yeah, but off the dirt, Seabass. How much more difficult is it to make that kick off the dirt versus a real piece of grass?
It's better to kick it off on the grass, but the dirt is so hard, so all always worried about the plant foot. So you just got to put it hard and kick it.
All right, hang on. Let's see if the Raiders can make your kick the game winner. 1st and 10, Arizona on the Raider 36-yard line. Max Hall, Chris Francis going to blitz. Hall throws out right, catch, and a tackle made there by Jeremy Ware on DeMarco Sampson. Arizona going to hurry up here. 2nd and 4 with 1:43 to play. They're not going to. They've got 1 timeout remaining. They don't want to use that. They don't want to spike it. Sebastian's going to leave us here. This game is coming down to the end. Hall under pressure, avoids a sack, will run for his life. He could have gotten out of bounds, but he cut back inside. I don't think he has the first down, Jim. He's just short, though. It'll be 3rd down and a yard.
Excuse me, it certainly was a bad decision on the quarterback's part. Either throw it away or run out of bounds to stop the clock. Now, you've got to try to either get a first. You have to try and get a first down right now.
But they're in field goal range here with Jay Feely, Tom, the great kicker they have. So let's see how they play this. 3rd and 2. They're going to huddle up. They're in no big hurry now. A minute to play in the game. Play clock at 13. A field goal would win it for Arizona. Max Hall out of the shotgun. Chancey Stuckey goes in motion left to right. Hall back. Time, throw, catch, first down, 20, 15, 10, 5. Is he in? Did he step out? Apparently he did not. Touchdown, Arizona. Nobody pushed him out. Isaiah Williams all the way in. It is a 28-yarder right through the middle of the Raider defense on a crossing route.
Yeah, a little simple crossing route, and the defender slipped down, and there was supposed to be covered, slipped on the grass and gave him a little bit more room, but still he went right down the sideline. Big body gets in the end zone. Way too much time to throw the ball. No pass rush at all.
Well, Max Hall comes right back as Janikowski makes the field goal to seemingly win the game, and now they'll go for 2 here, trying to make it a 7-point lead. Is it possible he stepped out?
Well, they're going to review it anyway.
No. Inbounds. Right there.
Yeah, he did.
He stepped out right there. He is out on the 4-yard line. This is a booth review. Yeah, it's not a challenge by the Raiders, Tom, since we're under 2 minutes to play. Clearly steps out on the apron right there. That's enough to push him out, right?
Yeah, but it's going to be a moot point because they can run time off the clock so that there's no time when they kick the field goal.
Yeah. Actually, if you're playing a regular season game, you'd rather give him a touchdown, have a chance to kick it off and come back. But you never know. Philly could mix the kick, but that angle will not show it. The one from the backside does show it. I thought he stepped out at some point, or somebody should have pushed him out, but he did not get pushed out. Jerome Boyd will make him just step out right there. So it'll be a 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. They're going to have to add some time on the clock. Now, with your theory, Tom, as a coach, you would have rather had him score. So would you just let him score now?
No, you can't do that, because
Mike Holmgren did that in the Super Bowl.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Been tried a couple of times since then by other teams, but
it's a big gamble.
You would never do that as a coach, though.
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, so assuming he stepped out, the score is going to be 18-17. They're going to have a 1st and goal inside the Raider 4-yard line. They're going to have to add some time, not a lot. It's going to be like 40, 41 seconds to go.
But it'll be 1st down, and they can kill a couple of downs.
The Raiders do have 2 timeouts left, but that won't help. They're going to kick essentially an extra point to win the game.
Yep, that's what it'll be.
There's Hugh Jackson talking it over. Ken Wisenhunt. So as young, we went to his 4th-string quarterback, Jim Max Hall, and while we were celebrating Janikowski's 57-yarder, Max Hall was able to lead them right down the field impressively.
Well, you've been around this game long enough, Bob, to know it's not over till it's over. Strange things happen all the time. And yet this is preseason. A lot of young players are in at the game at this late stage of the game, and they make mistakes, or they're not on top of it. They're young. They're going to make mistakes.
Now, if you're Wisenhunt, Tom, how do you play this? Do you even want to play, or do you just kind of kneel down and try to work the clock down and kick it as little time remaining in the game as possible?
Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. Obviously, there's probably more than 2 ways you can do it. One is you could just, run a play, a regular play.
Here's Ron Winter. Let's see how he sees it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Oh.
It is a touchdown.
Whoa, that's Ron.
That makes us. Oh, how did he miss that?
How did he miss it? I mean, that was. I don't think we missed it.
No, I don't think so
either. See it? Let's take a look. What did he see?
I didn't think I saw it, but
right there, this foot right there, right in the toe.
You're seeing a white cleat step on a white apron.
Right.
So maybe he just thinks that this angle, though, Jim seems to see that he stepped out. Right. Well, do you see green there?
I thought the other one looked like he stepped out more than that one.
Yeah, the other one looks like he stepped out more than this one here, the end zone one that we're looking at right now.
He had a pedicure today, and he trimmed the toenail. That's so they're going for 2 here. This is a touchdown, 23-18. More flags in.
Offense number 68.
Tom
5-yard
Festock.
penalty. Remains a try.
Now they're going to kick it.
Kick the 1-pointer. Well, that'll make it 24-18. I'm saying Denarius Moore runs back the kickoff, and the Raiders win this by a point.
Yeah, there you go.
We've seen some odd things tonight. How about the fact that Raiders kicked off twice? Should have asked Jason Campbell about that.
Yeah.
I think it was Jason who made the call.
He was out there. Yeah. He was the one out there making the call, yeah.
Now, you coached in the days, before, for a while, you could not defer. You had to take the ball.
Right.
What is the proper thing to tell the official when you win the flip, but you don't want the ball to start the game, you want it to start the second half? What do you exactly say to him?
You can't.
Well, I mean, you say we will kick off, or what do you say?
No, because it's your choice. So if you choose to kick off,
we defer is the way you say it.
Well, now, when I was coaching,
they never had that rule before.
No. You if you said we'll kick off, and in the second half they come out, it's their choice. They say we'll receive.
Yeah.
So
right.
The only thing that's changed is the defer thing.
All right, so the extra point is made, and the Raiders are down 6 and not 7, so it's 24-18. Well, that's a curious one that Ron Winter, he's been an official and a referee for a long time, just did not feel as though he saw a good enough replay. Now, I'm assuming that he's seeing our replays. He may be seeing the Arizona. He is seeing our replay, just to be clear that he saw the same replay that our audience saw, not the Arizona Cardinals broadcast crew. They may have shown him something differently. He saw the same thing we did, so he just didn't think it was sufficient enough or conclusive enough to overturn it, huh?
Guess that.
Interesting.
Or they had a plane to catch. Who knows?
Well, either way, it was. So Philly will kick off to Chad Jackson here. And Jackson, the former Florida Gator, can give the Raiders a chance. Janikowski's out of the mix here, obviously. The Raiders need a touchdown in the final 39 seconds. Philly will get a long start to kick off from the new 35-yard line for kickoffs again in the league. Tonga out to lead block. Jackson will get wrapped up and dropped inside the 20-yard line, so they got a long way to go. That is Jarrett Campbell in on the tackle, the younger brother of Calais Campbell, a great defensive lineman. So Edwards will bomb away here and see what can happen. Overall, Jim, what are your thoughts? I mean, you have so many ways to assess this game. When the starters were in the game for each side, the Raiders had the lead in the game when they left.
They did. You know, I thought they came out and executed fairly well, moved the ball. Campbell looked sharp. Bowler looked sharp. And Edwards, you know, they all did a real fine job. It got late in the game. A lot of different players were playing. It was hard to keep any continuity or consistency going late in the game.
Raiders send a trio of wide receivers out to the right. And it will be Edwards back. And he will throw to his left. And did Jackson catch that? No, he did not. Had a lot of boundary to work with, first of all, and he could not reel it in. So it's 2nd down and 10 with 29 seconds to play. Raiders go back to Napa for more training camp. They'll be on the field starting on Saturday to prepare for week 2 of the preseason. We'll be with you a week from Saturday from Candlestick Park on Bill Walsh Field to watch Jim Harbaugh and the 49ers, former Stanford coach Jim, taking over for the Niners. That'll be fun next weekend.
Yeah, it certainly will be. No doubt. I've got a lot of respect for Jim Harbaugh.
Edwards almost crossed the line, threw it out to Bennett, who stiff arms the rookie Patrick Peterson, then steps out to stop the clock. At 22 seconds to go. Always fun when the two Bay Area NFL teams square off. That'll be next week. The Raiders next at home to take on the New Orleans Saints coming up in week 3 of the preseason. And that is always the most meaningful week as far as playing time. And that Drew Brees and the Saints will be here, Tom. That'll be a good test for the Raiders in week 3 when they take on New Orleans here.
Well, it'll be a good test for the defense, that's for sure. And then and they're a good, solid team, New Orleans. And, it'll be a nationally televised game, so that'll be another good test.
Edwards airing it out, going up top, and that ball is broken up down the field by Marche Green. Took a deep shot there for Chad Jackson, and now the Raiders are down to their final bullet. 4th down and 2 coming up with 15 seconds to play.
There's a big difference, you know, whether the players admit it or not, and the coaching staff and the entire organization. When you play on a nationally televised game, you know the whole country is watching. There's a whole different feeling when you go into that game.
It'll be the NBC Sunday Night Football crew in for week 3. And the Raiders wind up the preseason up in Seattle against the Seahawks before they get set for the opener in Denver on September the 12th. They will open also on national TV, a Monday nighter. Final chance, 4th and 2. Edwards going to let it fly. Bodiford's down there. That ball is broken up. Flag down? No, and that'll be the game. Ball was broken up there, batted away by the Arizona Cardinals. Nabufi, Bryant Nabufi, the former Cal Bear, played for Jeff Tedford the last couple of years, able to knock that away, and that'll be it.
Well, the Cardinals still have to kneel down, I think. There's still 6 seconds to go. Yeah. Edwards winds up 10 of 19 for 140 yards and 1 touchdown. That'll be an interesting battle, Jim, as camp and the preseason develops. So will be Jason Campbell's backup. Either way, the Raiders are going to have 3 quarterbacks with a lot of starting experience in Jason Campbell, Kyle Bowler, and Trent Edwards.
True. You know, and sometimes you need that during a long football season. People tend to get hurt. Sometimes they falter a little bit, as Campbell did a year ago, but he bounced back strong.
Edwards threw a beautiful touchdown pass to David Osbury, the Raiders' only touchdown of the night. Janikowski kicks 4 field goals, the 4th. We thought the game winner off the dirt from 57, but the Cardinals came back and got a touchdown to win the game. 24-18, Arizona. We'll see you a week from Saturday at Candlestick Park. For Jim Plunkett and Tom Flores, Greg Papa saying so long on TV. JT will come back and wrap things up. Tom and I over on radio in a moment on the Raiders broadcast.